is a great honor to be here with all the guests today at the Lagos Free Trade Zone as we celebrate the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We have the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Sanwo-Olu.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
We're gathered here today for the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business, we vote. Vote is the answer. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Hey. Vote is the answer. Quick sign up, zero paperwork, step by step to your dream business, we vote. By Polaris Bank.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Vault is the answer.
Guy, with the rising cost of things, we need to plan our next move.
Guy, I agree with you. I mean, with the money we make, we should not be struggling with our finances now.
Maybe you both need better banking options.
What do you know about better banking options?
I recently moved my salary account to Polaris Bank, and since then, it's been a smooth ride for me. They bought over my existing loan and gave me better interest rates and repayment terms.
Are you serious?
Yes, as a Polaris salary account holder, I can get personal term loan, auto loan, mortgage, 50% salary advance, credit card, and more without going to the bank.
Really?
I've got a personal term loan already. See, here's my credit card too.
How do I make the move?
Simple. Open a Polaris salary account on Vault. Use salary account as your referral code.
My guy, I am moving my salary account now.
Get personal term loan and more with your Polaris salary account. Vault is available on Google Play.
We want to have a document that will continue to guide us. And it's a living document that will always speak to the challenges at different times. With our heads high up, with our chest popped out, believing that indeed that greater Lagos that we talk about is realizable. That big vision that we all dream about is achievable. That Lagos that beckons on all of us as the future of this nation is indeed on its path. Lagos State Development Plan 2052 is built around 4 critical strategic pillars: a thriving economy, a human-centric city, modern infrastructure, and of course, effective governance. These 4 pillars will be focusing on 20 strategic areas that will drive this very deep ambition. The implementation of this development plan requires a purposeful and a dedicated leadership. This is our own unwavering promise to you all. As a government and your government that will provide that required leadership to move us from just an idea to an action.
Mrs. Folashade Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. We also have the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Olugbemiga Ayola, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment. They are here receiving guests, receiving members of the diplomatic corps, captains of industries, stakeholders across business sectors in Lagos and in Nigeria for us to start this conversation. I would also like to inform all of us that we already have here the Consul General, United Arab Emirates, Dr. Abdullah Al-Monduz. Thank you very much for coming. And of course, the Consul General, People's Republic of China in Lagos, Mr. Yang Hyun King, is also here. Thank you so much for being with us. Also to mention, the Consul General of Switzerland in Lagos, Swiss Frank Eggman, is also here to join us in this conversation of Lagos Corporate Assembly, the night in the series. We also have around members of the Lagos State Executive Council. Many of them are already within the hall, so that we can have an handshake between the private and the public sector, discuss ease of doing business, and do everything to make sure that trade, investment, and businesses thrive in Lagos. We also have already in our midst body of permanent secretaries, the administrative leaders of various ministries, departments, and agencies of Lagos State. They are also here to meet with the business community, dismantle all sorts of barriers, have conversation about growth of business, conversation about ease of doing business in Lagos State. As said earlier, we can all go to the back of the hall to take tea. There is provision for tea for us to have the ease of discussion as well. Tea break gives you the ease of discussion. You can avail yourself with it. We also have here the Ambassador of Brazil, Mr. Miguel Grispach de Pereira Franco, the Ambassador of Brazil. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Tea is provided so that we don't start this discussion on an empty stomach. We want you to feel free, to feel strong, and then be ready for business discussion. Be ready to identify areas where we should make it easy for businesses to thrive.
Nigeria, we hail.
Are we testing? I think we are testing. Don't worry. When it's time for the national anthem, we'll call for it.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Babajide.
It is a great honor to be here with all the guests today at the Lagos Free Trade Zone as we celebrate the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We have the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
We were gathered here today for the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
We want to have a document that will continue to guide us. And it's a living document that will always speak to the challenges at different times. With our heads high up, with our chests popped out, believing that indeed that greater Lagos that we talk about is realizable. That big vision that we all dream about is achievable. That Lagos that beckons on all of us as the future of this nation is indeed on its path. Lagos State Development Plan 2052 is built around 4 critical strategic pillars: a thriving economy, a human-centric city, modern infrastructure, and of course, effective governance. These 4 pillars will be focusing on 20 strategic areas that will drive this very deep ambition. The implementation of this development plan requires a purposeful and a dedicated leadership. This is our own unwavering promise to you all. As a government and your government that will provide that required leadership to move us from just an idea to an action.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business, we vote. Vote is the answer. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Hey. Vote is the answer. Quick sign up, zero paperwork, step by step to your dream business, we vote. By Polaris Bank.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Vote is the answer.
It is a great honor to be here with all the guests today at the Lagos Free Trade Zone as we celebrate the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We have the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
We gather here today for the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
We want to have a document that will continue to guide us. And it's a living document that will always speak to the challenges at different times. With our heads high up, with our chests popped out, believing that indeed that greater Lagos that we talk about is realizable. That big vision that we all dream about is achievable. That Lagos that beckons on all of us as the future of this nation is indeed on its path. Lagos State Development Plan 2052 is built around 4 critical strategic pillars: a thriving economy, a human-centric city, modern infrastructure, and of course, effective governance. These 4 pillars will be focusing on 20 strategic areas that will drive this very deep ambition. The implementation of this development plan requires a purposeful and a dedicated leadership. This is our own unwavering promise to you all. As a government and your government that will provide that required leadership to move us from just an idea to an action.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vault it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business with Vault. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Quick sign up, 0 paperwork, step by step to your dream business with Vault.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Guy, with the rising cost of things, we need to plan our next move.
Guy, I agree with you. I mean, with the money we make, we should not be struggling with our finances now.
Maybe you both need better banking options.
What do you know about better banking options?
I recently moved my salary account to Polaris Bank, and since then, it's been a smooth ride for me. They bought over my existing loan and gave me better interest rates and repayment terms.
Are you serious?
Yes, as a Polaris salary account holder, I can get personal term loan, auto loan, mortgage, 50% salary advance, credit card, and more without going to the bank.
Really?
I've got a personal term loan already. See, here's my credit card too.
How do I make the move?
Simple. Open a Polaris salary account on Vault. Use salary account as your referral code.
My guy, I am moving my salary account now.
Get personal term loan and more with your Polaris salary account. Vault is available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
Salary earners. Need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do. I'll vote it for my loans. Overdraft. Step by step to my dream business with Vault. Salary earners. Entrepreneurs. Get your loans with no collateral. Quick sign up. Zero paperwork. Step by step to your dream business with Vault.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Guy, with the rising cost of things, we need to plan our next move.
Guy, I agree with you. I mean, with the money we make, we should not be struggling with our finances now.
Maybe you both need better banking options.
Once again,
What do you know
distinguished
about
ladies
better
and
banking
gentlemen,
options?
we also like to welcome some of our other distinguished guests, partners, and stakeholders in the business environment in Lagos State to the 9th Lagos Corporate Assembly happening here at Eco Hotel and Suite, the gathering of Nigeria's captains of industries. The theme of this year's night assembly is unpacking barriers to ease of doing business, accelerating business growth, and all these are meant for us to have businesses that grow unhindered, and also for businesses to thrive in Lagos and, of course, in Nigeria. Let me also recognize the presence of the Inspector General of Police, ably represented by the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, CP Adeokuki Fayo Ade. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much. I also like to welcome the Chairman, Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Honorable Mustahinu Abiodun Tobun. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, also welcome the Chairman, Access Holdings, Nigeria Limited, Mr. Aigoje Haig Imokwede. Thank you very much, Mr. Haig Imokwede. Thank you very much for coming. We already have seated members of the State Executive Council in large numbers. And we also have the representative of the Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zacchaeus Adediji, is ably represented by the State Administrator of Lagos Island Region, Mrs. Ngozi Noma. Thank you very much. And of course, I mentioned earlier, we have the Consular General, United Arab Emirates, the Consular General, Switzerland, Consular General, China, and of course, the Ambassador of Brazil. We have stakeholders representing various business sectors in Lagos, They are here to share and to also discuss the ease of doing business in Lagos State. Any moment from now, we'll start the program. And as announced earlier, there is tea at the back of the hall for us to start with some little strength.
Completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world. Here in our state, Lagos.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we also have in our midst one who has worked tirelessly when it comes to ease of doing business in Nigeria. She is the Chairman, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, Chairperson, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. She also doubles as a special advisor to the President on the ease of doing business. Please make welcome Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. Thank you. She's one of our speakers today, and I dare say that listening to her talk about business, enabling the business environment is always, always a pleasure to listen to. I'd like to welcome you here, and we look forward to listening to you. We also have with us other eminent personalities, and the introductions will be done as we go along. Thank you. Michael, please. Michael.
And more with your Polaris salary account. Vault is available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
salary earners. I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead.
Representative of the Director General, NAFDAC, Fagbuyo Kayode, Director, Lagos State Office. Thank you very much for coming.
Distinguished guests, we also have a representative of the Executive Secretary, CEO of NIPC, Mr. Lawal Hassan, here with us. While we're getting ready to start, I would like to inform us all that at some point in the program, we will be displaying a QR code on the screen that will enable us give feedback and interact on the ease of doing business in Lagos State. I would also like to inform us all that we do have some attendees online, and we most definitely would like to engage with them as well as we go along in the program. So while we have physical attendees in the hall, we also have attendees online, and we intend to engage them. So if you have anyone who would like to be part of this, this is the time for them to join online, because it promises to be very interesting. This is the point where the public sector meets the private sector. And we in Lagos State want to ensure that the ease of doing business in Lagos is further smoothened. And as you can see, we have those who may be able to answer questions that go beyond Lagos State here with us. And that really is one of the reasons why this is described as an extraordinary meeting. Because we have people from the national here who will be able to respond to questions that go beyond us, whether it's security, whether it is foreign exchange, and so on and so forth. And you can see, taking a peek around the room, that we are ably represented. And of course, the diplomatic corps are not left out, because they've been doing an awesome, awesome job ensuring that there is capacity building in Lagos State. So sit back, relax, and we'll be continuing the introductions.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I please inform you that we have in the hall the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat. Shall we please rise to welcome Mr. Governor, please?
Shall we rise to welcome Mr. Governor, ably represented? We'd like to inform you that the ease of doing business in Lagos is something that Mr. Deputy Governor is particularly passionate about. He has the mandate of Mr. Governor to ensure that all businesses operating in Lagos State do not suffer any bottlenecks as they operate in our great state of Lagos. I would remind you that at the 7th Assembly, all issues raised were dealt with. All the issues raised.
Shall we all rise to sing the national anthem? The national anthem, please.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace all battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build our
distinguished Mr. Governor, captains of industry, eminent personalities here present, it is indeed my great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the Lagos Corporate Assembly B.O.S. meets business community. This is the 9th extraordinary meeting, and the objective of this gathering is to harmonize relationship between the Lagos state and the organized private sector. We like to reduce business complaints and make it easy, or I dare say easier, to conduct business in Nigeria. The assembly is to identify areas where we can do better in order to ensure that businesses operating in Lagos do so with ease, without any problems. It is indeed my great honor and pleasure to stand before you this afternoon this morning as your compere for the occasion. My name is Akin Shemowo. I'm known as your compere beyond compare. Having given you a gist of the discussions we're about to have today, I would like to invite someone who knows a lot more and who has done so much in this area. She is the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment in Lagos State. To give her welcome address, please welcome Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebem. I think she deserves a better round of applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you and good morning. Good morning all. I'd like to go through order of protocol. The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Mr. Deputy Governor Dr. Obafemi Kabdra Hamzat. I'd also like to mention and acknowledge the members of the diplomatic missions, embassies, and consul generals, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Right Honorable Dr. Mudashiru Obasa, ably represented by the Chairman, House Committee on Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Honorable Mustanu Abiodun Tobo. All members of the Lagos State Executive Council here present, Chairman of Statutory Commissions, members of the body of permanent secretaries here present, particularly the Permanent Secretary for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Dr. Olubemiga Ayola Aino. Special Advisor to Mr. President on PEBEC and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. All invited speakers here present, particularly the Comptroller of Customs, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, the representatives of the Governor of Central Bank, Director General of the Standard Organization of Nigeria and NAFDAC, service commanders and the Commissioner of Police here in Lagos State, the President and leaders of national, bilateral and multilateral chambers of commerce and industry, the Managing Director of Woodhall Capital Limited, Mrs. Mojisola Humponu Wosu, Publisher of Business Day newspapers, Mr. Frank Abogum, distinguished captains of industries and business leaders here present, Chairman of Local Government and Local Council Development Areas, the State Chairman and Executive Members of all progressive Congress, APC, members of the State Governor Advisory Council, leaders and representatives of business membership organizations, BMO, your Royal Majesties and other fathers, royal fathers here present, top government functionaries, heads of ministerial agencies and extra ministerial departments, all religious and community leaders here in attendance, the management and staff of the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investments, the Managing Director of Polaris Bank, distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome you to the 9th Extraordinary Lagos Corporate Assembly, which is also the 4th in the series of the B.O.S. meets with the business community by the administration of our amiable Mr. Governor, Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, and Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat. Without doubt, the Corporate Assembly has become a very effective and credible public-private engagement platform through which the state, Lagos State government, and the business community interact and discuss issues that are critical to the ease of doing business and business prosperity in the state. Permit me to especially appreciate all attendees who added great value to the last year's edition. Indeed, your contributions and feedback helped us in no small way to improve on our service towards making Lagos State a safe haven for your investments and businesses. Let me assure you that all issues raised at the last edition have been addressed and are being addressed as promised by Mr. Governor. You see, here in Lagos, we understand the language of business and what we need to do to attract and retain our investors and businesses. This is why Lagos still retains its position as the economic capital of Nigeria in terms of trade, finance, commerce, the international gateway, and the key status as the operational headquarters of many multinationals and Fortune 100 companies. This is importantly the reason why we are gathered here today. The Lagos Corporate Assembly, LCA, is designed as a public-private engagement where business issues impeding the business environment are surfaced and tackled by the private sector in a cohesive manner and discussed with Mr. Governor, who gives immediate directives to the responsible ministries, departments of agencies, and MDAs for resolution. The LCA Assembly exemplifies the collaborative spirit between the public and private sectors, a partnership critical to the socio-economic advancement of Lagos State. This is why the Assembly has become a potent tool for fostering a harmonious relationship between the Lagos State government and the organized private sector. Today's gathering not only offers an invaluable opportunity for a further round of deliberations that are crucial to our mutual interests, but it is also particularly extraordinary because Mr. Governor has invited key federal government agencies whose roles are critical to the ease of doing business to interface with the representatives of the Lagos business community. This is an unprecedented move. Mr. Governor promised and is fulfilling that promise today. Without doubt, Lagos State has been at the forefront of promoting the ease of doing business reforms in Nigeria over the years. And I'm very pleased to state that according to the World Bank's Subnational Doing Business Report, Lagos State applied and fully met all criteria to qualify for the first phase of the World Bank-funded State Action on Business Enabling Reform SABA program. I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you. Lagos State has a very strong strategy, a 30-year strategy, lsdp2052.com. Lagos State has implemented key reforms which cover land administration, obtaining development permits, electronic payment of taxes and levies, quick determination and resolution of commercial disputes, among many others. We are quite confident that these and other reforms will score the state high on the other forthcoming SABRE result areas and disbursement-linked indicators. And more so, according to Time Out magazine in the UK, Lagos State was ranked 19th best city in 2024 to be visited out of 173 global cities, surveyed using qualitative and quantitative factors. Under Mr. Governor's leadership, Lagos State government's GDP has grown from 27 trillion to 41 trillion. Again, that deserves another round of applause. This phenomenal growth has been made possible by initiating and implementing deliberate policies and intentional strategies to facilitate the ease of doing business and promoting a conducive environment that continues to attract investments into the state, including the establishment of the Lagos International Financial Center, chaired by Mr. Governor and co-chaired by Mr. Ike Amokwede. To further strengthen the state's delivery capacity, the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, MCCTI, is in the process of constituting an ease of doing business team that will be tasked with interfacing with stakeholders in the business community via a one-stop shop virtual interface. This will be technology-driven to meet the demand of the highly digitized local and global investors community. The virtual one-stop shop interface will be enabled with robust connectivity to strategic global business gateways and to enhance the state of the global business communities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as the nation's commercial hub and economic powerhouse, we recognize that a wholesome operating environment is key to job creation, poverty eradication, and overall economic development. I, along with all my colleagues, am more than confident that the present administration, under the able leadership of Mr. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Mr. Deputy Governor Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, will stop at nothing to sustain and further build on the current milestones achieved. We will continue to build on the major drivers of the state's economy, increasing the contributions of the manufacturing sector, road transportation, building construction, wholesale and retail, telecommunications, financial institutions, and real estate. As an implementing ministry, MCCTI will continue to interface with other ministries, departments, and agencies here in the state, across other states of the Federation and at the federal level, including relevant local, international institutions alike. We will continue to collaborate with bilateral and multilateral chambers of commerce and industry to achieve and sustain the objectives of having an enabling environment where doing business in Lagos will be much more easier. We hope to move steps higher on the ladder when the next report is unveiled. In conclusion, let me particularly thank Mr. Governor and Mr. Deputy Governor for their vision, their commitment to a private sector-driven economy in Lagos State. I must reaffirm the administration's unwavering commitment to creating a conducive business environment in Lagos State. I urge you all to remain engaged with us, continue to provide constructive feedback, work with us in this noble endeavor, and together we shall continue to make Lagos State a model city of excellence, a model mega city of excellence, and the most attractive destination for businesses and innovation in Africa. And on this note, I thank you and I look forward to a fruitful discussion. Igbega, Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Ajumosheni. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that is the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Trade and Investment in Lagos State, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medeveb. Can we please appreciate her once more? Thank you so much. Mr. Governor, I would like to also inform you that we have in this gathering the First Lady of Ogun State, Her Excellency Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun. Please, let's put our hands together for her, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Governor, I also like to inform you as well that we have the Ambassador of Brazil, the Consul General United Arab Emirates, the Consul General Switzerland, and Consul General of China, all in Lagos. They are all here to also participate in this program. Shall we appreciate those members of the diplomatic corps that are here with us? And of course, the Consul General of India in Lagos as well. Thank you so much. Mr. Governor, ably represented by our dear Deputy Governor, it is now time for us to take remarks from some of our stakeholders. And this time, we'll be talking about the founder, CEO, Woodhull Capital Limited, Mojisola Nkwonuwosu. Please put your hands together for her, please.
I think she deserves more encouragement. She's one of our sponsors, and this is the public sector, private sector collaboration we're talking about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, captains of industry, I stand on all existing protocols. I stand before you as a testament of the success of the private sector initiative with Lagos State. Woodhull Capital, a financial advisory firm, started in Lagos State. Over the last 10 years, and as a matter of fact, today is our 10th year anniversary. We're testaments that it pays to start in Lagos, and you're able to go global. We have offices in Lagos, in London, in Dubai, and 3 weeks ago we opened in Abuja. We're partnering with the Lagos State government on this 9th corporate assembly as their poster child that private sector, in collaboration with the state governments, can produce firms like us who have gone on to raise over $5 billion over the last 10 years. Some of our international investors have been invited and are present here in this room to testify that Lagos hosts some of the most proficient companies in Nigeria today. We have been able to spotlight and shed some illusion on projects coming out of Nigeria and attract and have discourse with the international investment community to come and invest in Nigeria. Lagos has supported us, incubated us to have the boldness to be able to go into international territories and speak on behalf of indigenous, homegrown African companies. We have done so proudly with African staff. We have done so proudly with the African spirit. We have done so proudly knowing that we have a backbone in a country that believes in younger people, that believes that we can do it, and have given us the audacity to open in several countries and to have a global horizon. On behalf of Woodhull Capital, our other partners, Polaris Bank, cradled, loved, incubated, and supported by Lagos State, I welcome you to this corporate assembly, and I'm sure a lot of the international investors we've invited are in this room, and I'm sure that some of the questions they have, some of the inquisitiveness about why they should be invested in Africa will be answered today. I welcome you, and I thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is one of our partners. the founder, CEO, Woodhull Capital Limited, Mojisola Nkponu-Wosu. Is NAFDAC ready?
Before we go to NAFDAC, I would like to take a quick trip to Denmark because we have the Consul General of Denmark, Mrs. Berum, here with us. We'd like to welcome you. We thank you for all you do for the capacity building and collaboration with Lagos State, and we appreciate your being here. Thank you. At this point, we are expected to have a presentation by the representative of the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. However, we're told that she is unavoidably absent and will be represented. Do we have a representative in the house, please? Okay, we do have a representative, and we will be expecting. So it is now time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before the NAFDAC presentation, we do have something to share with you, or rather, PwC have a presentation to share with us. And if you know PwC, they're giants. What you're about to witness is a presentation that they have put together themselves. Lagos State did not share it with them. Without further ado, may I invite the representative of PwC to please step forward and give us the presentation that you are here to give. PwC in the house, please. Mr. Ayo, are you here? Maybe because people are not clapping for you, that's why we didn't notice you are here. Thank you. We are doing gender balancing. Because we clap for the lady, let's clap for the gentleman as well. Thank you very much. PwC on cue, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Governor, ably represented by the Deputy Governor. Standing on all existing protocols, I'll just go straight on to my presentation. And the focus of our conversation is really around why should Lagos be the destination of choice for investors. And I think I'm coming at a very auspicious time because the example that was shared just before I came in clearly demonstrated this point, that Lagos is indeed a destination of choice from an investment point of view. So can we move on to the next slide, please? So this slide speaks to a couple of very important variables. One is the fact that we have about 24 million people in Lagos. So clearly a clear desire of business is a place where they can make profit, and having people with economic capability in such a small landmass means that you have very strong interaction with customers from time to time. In terms of contribution to GDP, Lagos contributes about 30% to the GDP of the country. The state generates significant internally generated revenue. Access to about 70% of air traffic coming in and out of the country. Strong internet subscribers, so technology, it's a key enabler. Financial participation is very strong, over 200,000 financial institutions in the state. So this is a clear testimony of the strength and the capability of the economy and resilience of Lagos. Can we move on to the next slide, please? These slides speak to the strength of the economy of Lagos. The GDP of Lagos is bigger than all the countries in Africa except for 7. So it's larger than Angola, for example. Angola is a major oil-producing country, and for Lagos State to be, in GDP terms, stronger and bigger, so it's a clear demonstration that in terms of economic capability, it's really very high up there. Consistently, in the last couple of years, can we move on to the next slide also? Just to demonstrate and to show us the GDP growth trajectory. On a year-on-year basis, consistently, Lagos State has delivered robust GDP growth, far and above what the country as a whole is able to deliver. So it's not surprising, if we move on to the next slide, if you see quite a number of businesses with strong presence in Lagos. So we have the oil majors, basically all of them have their head offices in Lagos, the telecommunication companies. So if all these big empires are here, if you are an investor, if you are a businessman and you are not in Lagos, really, I don't know where you will be. So these are very strong brands that have been doing very well and have been a key part of the success story of Lagos. So what are the emerging sectors? So we can move on to the next slide, please. We see a whole lot of opportunities in technology and innovation. You know, looking at the tech hub, the number of internet subscribers, and a couple of opportunities available in Lagos. So we see huge opportunities in this space. So if you are a tech entrepreneur, then you need to be in Lagos. In entertainment and media, of course, all the big Nollywood players are here, the music, Lagos Play host to a lot of this. So if you are interested and you are bringing investment into that space, then you should be in Lagos. Finance and banking, even though we have more than 200 players in the States, but there's still a whole lot of opportunities to be exploited. So if you are a player in the banking sector, in finance, in insurance, then you have a place to play, then you should be in Lagos. Of course, manufacturing, we have the free trade zone, we have the seaports, we have the airport. So clearly, Lagos is an area, a place of choice, has a locational advantage from a manufacturing and logistics point of view. So if you are in that sector, then you should be in Lagos. Can we move on to the next slide, please? This talks to tourism and hospitality. All the big brands, the best hotels are clearly in Lagos. The beaches, so you should be here if you're an investor that intend to play big in the area of tourism and hospitality. Of course, infrastructure. There has been significant development. There have been major deliverables, major infrastructure that have been delivered in the last couple of years, the rail, the Dangote refinery, and a couple of that, bridges, roads. But there's still a lot more to be done. So if you are an investor and you are looking to invest in infrastructural development, then you should be in Lagos. So in terms of the competitive advantage, where do we say as the enabling environments that Lagos has provided? First, we talked about the strong infrastructural base that is available in Lagos. So we have all the major ports in Nigeria. So you have access to them if you are based in Lagos. You have the Lekki free trade zone, where it's high-end infrastructure. It's just plug and play. So if you are an investor, I think you should be considering being in an environment like Lagos. We have the Eco Atlantic, is a city that's looking at leisure, private residencies, and also commercial activities. So a mixed development, and this creates some strong enabling environment for investment from a state point of view. There are a number of infrastructure facilities that will aid economic activities, and I've spoken to a couple of them. The ports and the logistics. Clearly, we have the Tinkan and Apapa Island. We have the Lekki Deep Seaport. So in terms of how you manage your logistics, you have the infrastructure to support you. Strong transportation network. We have the recently inaugurated transport system, the blue and the red lines that are, then of course, roads, Third Mainland Bridge, the plan to develop the Fourth Mainland Bridge, the airport. Does this provide some kind of locational advantages? Businesses and financial hubs, Lagos being the center of commerce and also financial capital of Nigeria. So you should, that provides some competitive advantage. Robust energy and utility infrastructure. Lagos is the only state in Nigeria that has 2 distribution companies. So a couple of other states, have 1 distribution company covering 3 or 4 states. That tells us the power, the resilience, and the strength of the economy here, and the kind of infrastructure from a power point of view. And there are quite a number of private sector players also in that space. So clearly, that presents some locational advantage. And of course, in terms of innovation and technology, there's an ecosystem that is built around the thriving tech ecosystem. So if we are in that space, that provides some additional advantage also for Lagos State, and a strong industrial infrastructure. So if you are in the agro space, we're adding value, so Lagos provides a place for you where you can take advantage of some of these opportunities. So in terms of the size of the market, there are a couple of items that provide competitive advantage for Lagos. One is the large size of the consumer base, over 24 million people. So if you can just get a small size of that market space, that already makes you a significant success. Skilled and entrepreneurial workforce. So there's a large workforce, quite a number of educational institutions, universities, colleges of technical colleges within Lagos State, business-friendly environmental and regulatory environment, and of course that's the reason why we're here. From an ease of doing business point of view, Lagos is way ahead of many other competing states in Nigeria and particularly in Africa. Strategic location for regional and international trade, and of course a vibrant cultural and entertainment environment. So Lagos have all these, and this provides some strong competitive advantage. So there are a couple of success stories. Of course, the Dangote refinery, that's a huge one. A 20 billion investment coming into Lagos. Tunde Onakoya's Shell. So it's not just about the hard issues alone, then also the soft issues. Lagos is also playing a very key role. Paystack, one of the big fintech, also emanated and grew out of Lagos, being able to generate value of over 200 million when it was disposed. So in terms of the quality of life, generally that enabling environment is also provided to support businesses. So if you are in Lagos, you're not just all the infrastructural base to support your business is also there. There's a strong transport infrastructure, huge investments in healthcare, education. There are leisure facilities, beaches, and resorts. The air connectivity makes for competitive advantage from a business point of view. We talked about power, art and culture. Of course, very vibrant nightlife, makes for relaxation and spas and well-being centers, basically all around the city. So basically, how do you start the journey in terms of making that decision? Of course, the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment play a very important role in setting the pace and supporting businesses in this case. Lagos being the economic hub, strategic location, then provides that enabling environment that is required to support businesses. In tying all this together, so what do you see as the outlook? So it's not just enough to have the potential. A lot of hard work has gone into getting Lagos to where it is today. In the short to medium term, we expect and we see significant growth trajectory of Lagos continuing and becoming not just the leader in Africa, but being a global player in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You were saying such wonderful things about Lagos, I couldn't even stop you. PwC in the house, ladies and gentlemen, please appreciate them for giving such an awesome review about doing business in Lagos. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a goldfish has no hiding place. I don't know whether he was trying to hide, but I got a glimpse of him. I don't know where he is right now, but please, we have in the house to recognize in our midst, representing the Folawiyo group, Tunde Folawiyo. I'd like to state that we have a few presentations and some are not being done in person. We have representatives taking them. So if you are here representing the DG of SON or the CBN governor, please make yourself known to us so we can properly invite you to speak. Having said that, it is now time to give us a presentation by the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. That will be the Director, Lagos State Office of NAFDAC, Mr. Fagboyo Kayode. NAFDAC is always on point. He didn't even wait for me to finish, and it was right here. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, distinguished personalities. I want to start, first of all, by recognizing the Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Amsat, the State Executive Council here present, the captains of industries, distinguished personalities, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing before you to represent my Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye. She would have actually loved to be here. As at yesterday, she actually planned to be here. But because of other exigencies of work, she has to be in Abuja this morning, and she directed me to be here. So I'm going to read our presentation. It is with great pleasure and honor to be at this function of the 9th Lagos Extraordinary Corporate Assembly, which is the 4th edition of the Lagos State Governors Meeting with business community, where business environment related issues are to be deliberated upon. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, as we all know, was established by Decree 15 of 1993, as amended by Decree 19 of 1999, which has now become the Law of the Federation 2004, which puts the responsibility to regulate and control the manufacture, importation, exportation, distribution, advertisement, sales, and use of regulated products in the hand of NAFDAC. All these products are regarded as regulated products. The mission of NAFDAC is to safeguard public health by ensuring that only right quality of food, drugs, and other regulated products are manufactured, imported, exported, distributed, advertised, and sold in the country. So the responsibility of protecting the health of 225 million people is in the hands of NAFDAC. So we have actually identified the challenges being faced by micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises in the registration of their products with NAFDAC. The agency has instituted several activities to help small and medium-scale enterprises to register their products. We have reviewed our guidelines and streamlined our registration processes to handle their peculiar difficulties. The aim of this is to remove unnecessary bottlenecks and bureaucratic red tapes that hinder the smooth registration and regulatory activities of MSME. So in line with the Presidential Enabling Business Council, NAFDAC is a very important member of that council. That's why we have put in place a lot of strategies to be able to support the federal government as well as Lagos State government in their job creation agenda. And that's why we have put in place for MSMEs, because we realize the importance of MSME in the economic development of our country and Lagos State in particular. And as of 2003, we may bold to say that we have registered about 6,000 MSMEs in Lagos State alone. And this is about 25% of registered MSMEs in the country. So we have been able to do this by reducing our timelines. We have developed a user-friendly website with robust information that you don't even need to. We have reduced interface with our officers in our registration process. We have also created a help desk for MSME in all the states and the zone. That of Lagos State is in our Oshodi office. We have reduced our tariff significantly.
It is a great honor to be here with all the guests today at the Lagos Free Trade Zone as we celebrate the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We have the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
For the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
Support rendered over the years.
For the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business, revolt. Vote is the answer. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Hey. Vote is the answer. Quick sign up.
Faster. I would also like us to know that we have other presentations after this. I do believe that the Comptroller General of Customs might be here. If he's not here already, we should have a presentation from him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, I beg to stand on the existing protocols. My name is Engineer Enebi Shaibu Onushayo, Director of Product Certification, representing Director General Standards Organization of Nigeria. He's a person who would have loved to be here, but till this morning he was ready to come here, but he was called, and he has to answer that call. It came from the power above. Thank you very much. I will present his speech as he has given it to me. In his word, he said, "It is my singular honor and pleasure to address the esteemed gathering of the 9th Extraordinary Corporate Assembly organized by the Lagos State Government. As we convene here today, it is pertinent to reflect on the formidable commitment of Mr. Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu to provide a platform to discuss critical issues relating to business environments in Lagos in particular and Nigeria in general. I consider this assembly a critical platform for discussing pressing issues that shape our business environment, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share the significant reforms that the Standards Organization of Nigeria has implemented over the years in product standardization and import processes. As the apex body saddled with the responsibility of standardization and quality assurance in Nigeria, SON pivotal role is underpinned by an overarching mandate to set standard, regulate, and ensure compliance. In line with the mandate, SON has invested in some reforms for product standardization, monitoring manufacturing facilities, testing product samples, and reviewing compliance documentation. We proudly uphold our dedication to fostering good manufacturing practices and safeguarding consumers' right to access quality products that conform to standards requirements. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the organization introduced Standards Organization of Nigeria Conformity Assessment Program, SONCAP, in 2005 to address the challenges of the incessant influx of substandard and unsafe products into the country. The compliance of such products in which the applicable Nigerian Industrial Standard NIS specification and other approved international standards prior to obtaining the pre-arrival assessment report PAR. This the basis for ensuring that all goods imported into Nigeria conform to the Nigerian Industrial Standard or approved international standards. This service can be assessed through our independent accredited firm, IAFs, which carry out conformity assessment of product on behalf of the Standards Organization of Nigeria. It is imperative to state that the Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program, MANCAP, is a mandatory product certification scheme put in place by SON to ensure that all locally manufactured products in the country conform to the relevant Nigerian industrial standard before such products are presented for sale in the Nigerian market or exports. And it is good to note that this process all have been digitalized. In the rapidly evolving global landscape, the organization has recently introduced the Product Authentication Mark (PAM) to enable Nigeria to verify the genuineness of a product in the Nigerian market even before purchase. This commitment reflects our unyielding dedication to the welfare of the Nigerian people and the growth of our nation. Our effort in incentivizing industry compliance and enhancing the operational environment for import have already shown promising results. We have launched e-certification and e-product registration platform. This digital platform streamlines the certification process, making it more transparent, efficient, and accessible to all business. The e-product registrations allows the documentation and traceability of all products in the Nigerian market and access to relevant standards for local production, import, and export. Despite the daunting backdrop of global challenges, it is gratifying to note that the organization has fully digitalized all its documentation processes for import and local manufacturing to ensure that all Nigerians can access the service seamlessly in their comfort zones. In conclusion, our reforms are designed to protect consumers, promote fair trade, and drive the economic growth of our country. Thank you very much for listening.
You did it within the allotted time, and I do appreciate that. I'd like to announce to all stakeholders here present that we will be having an interactive session, and that is a key part of this assembly, where you get to tell us the issues you have, to also commend us for those things that we have improved upon, because it's just not issues and issues. So for the DG of SON, NAFDAC, and so on, we even have a representative of the Inspector General of Police here. So if you have any security issues as well, during the interactive session, we will give them the opportunity to respond, as it were, to any of the issues. So if you have made a presentation here today, please do not leave. Wait behind. We just might need you to answer one or two questions. Moving on very swiftly, I did mention initially, we have the National President, Nigeria American Chamber of Commerce, Alhaji Sheriff Balogun, here with us. The President, Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Otumba Kelvin Dele Oye. And we also have here the Deputy President, Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, Ehi Brima. Thank you very much for coming. We do understand how important this is to all stakeholders, and it is now time for us to move on to that very important part of the presentations, because we'll be listening to the chairperson, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, as well as a special advisor to the president on the ease of doing business. She is here in person. Please make welcome Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. I think Dr. Oduwole deserves a better round of applause. And I can assure you that after listening to her, the applause will double. Welcome, madam.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Governor, ably represented by Mr. Deputy Governor and the Chair of Lagos State's Ease of Doing Business Council. Yes, I think I'm going to stand with that. Extremely well adumbrated protocol by the Honorable Commissioner. I'd like to set a bit of context on the environment that we all find ourselves in. There was a study done by McKinsey in 2019 that just showed that within the decade of 2000 to 2010, by that trajectory, there was $400 billion left on the table on the continent of Africa in terms of value, and Nigeria accounted for a third of that. And a lot of it has to do with the lack of business facilitation, the lack of ease of doing business on the continent. Another key fact that I'd like to share this morning is that Africa has only 345 companies that gross over $1 billion per annum. That's really small. Cities like Beijing will have multiples of that number. And Nigeria has only 23 of such companies. So, especially because we're in Lagos State, the financial capital of the country, where the largest businesses in Nigeria are domiciled, most of them, it means that we have a very strong impetus to scale. Now, recent macroeconomic challenges, you know better than I do what you're going through in terms of FX volatility, high interest rates, insecurity, infrastructural deficits. I will now introduce the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, of which His Excellency the Vice President is the chair. I'm merely a member. The mandate of the council is to remove bureaucratic and legislative bottlenecks and also to improve the perception of doing business in Nigeria. Its composition is chaired by the Vice President, 18 honorable ministers. We've just added one more. The Governor of the Central Bank, the Head of Service, the Secretary to the Government. We also have high-level representation from the National Assembly, from state governments, and from local government, one local government in Abuja, and the judiciary. Just to say that many of you are already partners with the PEBEC. Many of you already know what the PEBEC does. We work with all arms and levels of government in Nigeria. We work with Friends of Nigeria, development partners, and diplomatic corps. We work with civil society, and just everyone who's vested in this one economy, one indivisible economy. We work with many of the regulators that you encounter daily, over 53 of them at the federal level, NAFDAC, SON, several others, and you would know some of their logos on the screen. The way we do our work, I'm here with two of my colleagues, three actually. It's a funnel system. We scoop your complaints, your comments, whether directly or from social media or from commentary. We look at international best practices. We engage with the ministries, departments, and agencies. We negotiate space. Why does it take 10 steps in Nigeria when in Ghana it takes only 3 steps? When in Singapore it takes only 4 minutes? So we break down the processes and we review them, and then we say, what can we do better this year? What can we do better this year? It's continuous improvement. Just to show you a few of the reforms that we've delivered since the council was inaugurated in 2016, from regulatory to subnational interventions to legislative interventions. It's quite a list. It's incremental in the sense that sometimes they unravel and we have to keep validating them from private sector. So these reforms are only considered as done when you, private sector, tell us that they are done. We're not without constraints and challenges, political will, consequence management, continuous interaction. This is the journey that we're all collectively on. I'll move now to accelerating diversification, which is where His Excellency, Mr. President, has rested his 8-point agenda for this administration. This particular mandate fits in the entire 8-point agenda. We support 6 directly and 2 indirectly as an enabler for the work that they do. Now, the presidential priorities, number 7 of which is accelerating diversification, also closely related to number 1, which speaks to the macro environment that we all operate in. And just to say some of the things that we all know, interconnectivity, accelerating power, many of you need power, access to finance, the policies that these 6 ministries are focusing on. So I'm putting this in the context of what the federal government is currently implementing. And all this information is publicly available on the website of the Central Delivery Coordinating Unit, CDCU. And the tracking of it is open to the public as well. The key outcomes expected are to increase contribution to GDP, that's for this particular priority, to deploy the growth strategies that private sector have said they need, and to increase export activities, because we all know that we're not solving this FX challenge anytime soon without increasing the supply. Now, how does PEBEC's work fit in? I bring you greetings from the council, from the members of the council, and from my team at the PEBEC Secretariat. On the 8th of January this year, we released an outlook on the work that we will be doing this year. 4 of them are continuous, which we had started for quite some time. Our regulatory and innovation and technology work stream, our subnational intervention, of which Lagos State has been a long-term partner, our legislative and judicial reforms, and the need for strategic communication and stakeholder engagement. This year, we also launched the PEBEC Business Champions Program, and we started with the cohort of 23, the businesses that gross over $1 billion per annum, solving specifically a bespoke service addressing their specific challenges. And why them? Because since inception, the council has been focusing on micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, which, as we all know, cater to nearly 50% of Nigeria's GDP. And we felt that it was about time to start also looking at the other 50% of GDP. So it's a continuous program that I'll speak to a bit more later. But just to tell you, I'll rest on this slide a little bit so you can see our regulatory intervention. We just finished a 90-day regulatory reform accelerator. You can click on the QR code and see the results of that. It's pretty open, interesting tracker to see where NAFDAC falls, to see where SON falls, to see where CBN falls, and all the other customs, all the other regulators, police, to see where they all fall on this tracker. Immediately I said that, the phones came out. You can hold that a few more seconds, and then I'll go on. But just to say that the regulatory reform accelerator, we used to have 60-day national action plans. This one was a 90-day sprint, and at the end of 90 days, we were only on 44.2%. So the chair of the council, the vice president, gave a 30-day extension, and we finished at 82.1%. What really gets measured gets done. To speak a bit about our subnational intervention, as the Honorable Commissioner alluded to, we currently have a 3-year program co-designed by the PEBEC Secretariat and the World Bank team to cascade ease of doing business reforms deep within the subnational. We started this collaboration in 2017, but the program, the SAVER program, is currently in year 2. It's a 3-year program with $750 million on the table on lending to states from the World Bank through the federal government, and it's performance for results. So after the state delivers on the intervention, then they get a very soft rebate. There's also a lot that has been done at the subnational level, and you heard the Honorable Commissioner speak to quite a bit on the robust collaboration that the PEBEC has had. As I mentioned earlier, Mr. Deputy Governor personally chairs the Ease of Doing Business Council for Lagos State, of which the Honorable Commissioner is the reform champion for the state. So as colleagues, we've worked extremely closely. I must say that the current head of service of Lagos State, back in the day, as the head of the Lands Registry, has been a very vibrant contributor to PEBEC, has represented Nigeria in DC, in Dubai, speaking about land reforms for Lagos State and for Nigeria as a whole, which was how we were able to move up significantly in the Ease of Doing Business rankings, this same collaboration. So there you see the 8 work streams, from fiber optics to PPP frameworks to land reform, all the areas that this particular program is working on. I'll go on now to the legislative and judicial reforms. We started with an intervention, again with Lagos State Judiciary in 2018, the first small claims court. Now we have 31 states across the country with small claims courts, which encourages self-representation, relaxed rules of evidence for litigants to go to the magistracy and self-represent themselves. I've been there, very interesting. I saw a small business just sue their bank. You just buy a form for about 1,000 naira, and you go, you don't need a lawyer, you represent yourself. And a lot of times, they just get judgment without even representation because it's just quite a shock. There's no adjournments, it's just heard every day. So that's the small claims court. We've also worked with the 8th and 9th National Assembly and are currently working with the 10th National Assembly on 4 critical legislations so far, including the reenactment of the CAMA in 2020 after a 30-year hiatus, and the first of its kind Business Facilitation Act, which was our inaugural omnibus bill, which amended 21 pieces of legislation and codified Executive Order on Transparency and Efficiency of Public Service Delivery, which embeds the ReportGov report portal that you have from the PEBEC. Just to go on to strategic communications and the need thereof, we need to keep talking or we're blinking in the dark, which is why we're here today. This actually marks the beginning of our subnational tour. We go around states every year, and this Lagos, we typically start in Lagos State. Mr. Governor was at the last one, and this time, again, we're partnering with Lagos State to start our subnational tour. So we go around 6 geopolitical zones, and they're events hosted by the governors of the state with their cabinets, and it's a regional event, so you have regional representation, also speaking from each of the states. I mentioned this because many of your businesses traverse the entire length and breadth of Nigeria. So to know that Ease of Doing Business is not just limited to Lagos State or Kano or Rivers, it's all across every region. I already spoke a bit about the PEBEC Business Champions. This is how we consider. So there's the pilot cohort is on of the 23 businesses, but we are in the process of selecting the first cohort, which will be large businesses, dependent on annual revenue. There are criteria on the screen that corporate governance, regulatory compliance, and we will be supporting those businesses through their regulatory and legislative challenges. The key takeaways I'd like to leave you with is that leadership matters from the federal government, and you can see at the highest levels from the Lagos State government, leadership does matter. The political will, we're not just playing lip service or optics. We are here to listen. When leadership pays attention, things do happen. It's not a silver bullet. It's not a magic wand. But together, through this engagement and interaction, we listen to you, and it's all in the details. We start implementing granular changes. We start working with ministries, departments, and agencies to audit their processes, to look at automation. How do we layer technology for efficiency, for transparency, for removing of corruption, for reducing interpersonal interface? And above all, we stand by the mantra, what gets measured really gets done. It is when you say that our reforms have had an impact for you, and there's usually a bit of a lag, but when you say that those reforms continue to help you and come back to say, or otherwise, if you haven't felt the impact, please tell us. If you have felt the impact, please let us know. It's a journey of continuous improvement. It's one of institutionalization, and it's one of collaboration. Thank you very much.
Mr. Governor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we just listened to the Executive Secretary, PEVEC, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. Shall we please put our hands together for her once more?
You know, there is nothing as frustrating as wanting to invest your funds and being frustrated while trying to do so. So what we are doing in Lagos is to ensure that when you come in to do your business in Lagos, you will do that with ease. And that is one of the reasons why we're here today. We're getting to that point where someone who should know, someone who is in the thick of things, someone whose baby it is, as it were, to ensure that he makes it easier and better to do business in Lagos State. It is now time for us to witness, as I would call it, I'll invite my co-MC to step forward. I think this is a bit too big for me to do alone. What would you say to that?
This is Lagos State, where businesses are allowed to thrive, where every opportunity is given to everyone to make sure that fortune is easy to come by. Here in Lagos, the government sets targets for itself, and it works assiduously to meet those targets. We've had 8 editions. This is the 9th edition, and it is time for us now to get the scorecard and give another marching order on what should be done to make the ease of business a motto and a work for all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, join me as I invite the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Mr. Deputy Governor Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, for his keynote address at the extraordinary night corporate assembly.
We'd like you to also know that it doesn't end here. We will be having an interactive session, and Mr. Deputy Governor, representing Mr. Governor, will be here to ensure that we take all.
Thank you very much. Please, let's be seated. Thank you very, very much. The First Lady of Ogun State, thank you very, very much. Our Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, thank you for gracing the occasion. We appreciate you. The Chairman, Lagos House of Assembly Committee on Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, Honorable Abiodun Tobu, members of Lagos State Executive Council that are all here in large number. But let me especially recognize the Honorary Commissioner of Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebe, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Ambassador of Brazil, Miguel Grisbach de Piraro Franco, thank you very, very much. The Consular General of Denmark, Mrs. Jetty Jerome, thank you very, very much. The Consular General of India, Mr. Chandramoli Khan, thank you very much. And the Consul General of United Arab Emirates, Dr. Abdullah Almandos, thank you very much. The Consular General of China in Lagos, Ms. Yang Queen, I think you have a Nigerian name. I think it's Aduke or something. Ayo, I know. Thank you, Ayo, for coming. Thank you very much. And the Consul General of Switzerland, Mr. Frank Eggman, thank you very, very much, sir. Members, body of permanent secretaries, Lagos State, especially the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, Dr. Olugbenga Aino, the Commissioner of Police, our CP, Mr. Adegoke Fayo Ade, thank you very much, sir. Our guest speaker, and of course, the chairman of Access Group, our friend, and of course, the co-chair of Lagos Financial Center. Thank you very much, sir, for your attendance. Our esteemed speakers, of course, we've listened to Dr. Jumoke Oduwole. Thank you very, very much. She's a tough woman. You just see her like that, she's gentle, but when it comes to work, she will push you. Thank you very, very much. and founder, CEO, Capital Limited, Mojisola Nkwonu-Wusu, thank you very, very much. The Director General for NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, ably represented, and of course that of SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, captains of industries that are here, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everybody. Well, it is with pleasure that I'd like to welcome us again to this night Lagos Corporate Assembly that is themed Unpacking Barriers to Ease of Doing Business, Accelerating Business Growth. This gathering for us is a testament to our unwavering commitment to fostering a conducive environment for business to thrive in our state. Lagos, the economic hub of Nigeria, is home to a diverse and dynamic business community. As a government, we are profoundly aware of the critical roles that you play as the engine driving the economy of our state. Therefore, your resilience, your innovation, and contribution have been instrumental in positioning Lagos as a beacon of prosperity and progress. In light of your significant role, it is always thrilling to emphasize that Lagos State holds the esteemed position of being the 5th largest economy in Africa. The city's economy is exceptionally dynamic, boasting 14 industrial estates and 4 central business districts. Our state accounts for 70% of the country's total industrial investment and 60% of its commercial activities. Furthermore, our state contributes 30% of Nigeria's gross domestic product and 50% of the non-oil GDP. Therefore, as an urbanized cosmopolitan area in West Africa, and of course, one of the largest markets in sub-Saharan Africa, Lagos boasts the 4th largest GDP in Africa, following Cairo, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. Remarkably, its GDP is equivalent to that of 24 African countries combined. Allow me to emphasize that through our Teams Plus Plus development agenda, we are unwavering in our commitment to fostering an environment where businesses can flourish. This agenda embodies our vision for a greater Lagos, especially highlighted by the 4th pillar, which is the M, meaning making Lagos a 21st century economy. Through the implementation of this agenda, we have initiated numerous policy reforms to facilitate business operations in Lagos. We are simplifying regulatory processes, improving infrastructure, and leveraging technology to streamline interaction between businesses and government agencies. Our goal, therefore, is to minimize bureaucratic blockages and create a seamless experience for all businesses operating in our state. A case in point was when the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment, in collaboration with the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, worked to align the interests of a state agency with those of a platinum PEBEC member. I'm sure they know the company involved. This initiative facilitated a mutually benefiting working relationship by bringing both parties to the negotiating table in a spirit of fairness and equity. This collaborative approach is how we aim to continue working, fostering partnership between states, ministries, departments, and agencies, and members of the organized private sectors as allies in progress. As a government, we see this assembly as a crucial platform for public-private dialogue, where we collectively identify challenges, discuss solutions, and chart a course for sustainable economic growth and development. This is because we understand and recognize the power of stakeholder engagement and the importance of providing a listening ear to the business communities. Our resolve is to make this assembly a formidable platform for public-private collaboration, ensuring that your voices are heard and your concerns are addressed promptly. We are determined to turn the feedback we receive from you into actionable policies that will further ease the business environment in our state. Dear guests, I must commend the resilience of the business community despite the numerous challenges earlier highlighted, including the current global economic downturns confronting your operations. You have continued to innovate, adapt, and contribute significantly to the growth of our state. Your tenacity and entrepreneurial spirit are the bedrock upon which Lagos' economic success is built. So I assure you of our continued support as our administration is unreservedly committed to providing the necessary resources, infrastructure, and policies that will ensure your businesses not only survive but thrive. We will continue to engage with you, listen to your needs, and implement reform that will foster an environment necessary for your businesses to grow. Therefore, we assure you of our commitment to incorporating your feedback into our policy formulation and regulatory review, because this is the oil that wheels our common and collective progress. So as we gather here together, let us all reaffirm our collective commitment to overcoming the barriers to ease doing business in our state. We must work together. And if you recall, at the 8th Assembly, we emphasized there are questions, and we said, well, some of these are federal government agencies, and we promised that we will bring representative at the night one. So today, representative of FRS is here, NAFDAC is here, Custom is here, CBN representative is here. So if you have questions, they'll be able to answer. So I thank you for your dedication and contribution to our beloved state, and together I'm sure we'll build a greater Lagos that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable for all of us. I thank you again for coming, and I thank you for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy. Thank you, Mr. Governor. Yes, sir, we would like you to please take your seat here, because it is now time for the interactive session. Sorry. Oh boy.
The man is just collecting cards.
Mr. Deputy Governor,
please sit down.
Please do not reveal our secrets. We know how we do it, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. It is now time for us to have that so much awaited interactive session where we get to listen to you, where we get to learn about the things that you would like us to improve upon, where we take notes. I did see Her Excellency Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun taking notes copiously as the presentations were going on. So it's now time to have that opportunity to take questions and comments. And I do believe that our hostesses are available, because we will be taking the questions and comments. But I would like to start with Mr. Governor, sir. We would like to know how, I know you've given the speech, but captains of industry here present would like to hear from you in terms of how important this is to us, particularly when we are talking about the greater Lagos. They are here, they've made time, and it is now time for us. So I want you to set the tone before we start taking the questions, answers, and comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Because I said the man is collecting car, he must give it back to me, but it's okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So this is the night assembly, and let me just say the beauty of Lagos. This assembly did not start with Sanwo-Olu and that administration. It started well before. So BRF did it, Ambode did some, and now they so, and that's the continuity about the policies in our state. So we understand that that GDP that we mentioned actually is created by the private sector. And therefore, we understand that we must make it easier for people to do businesses. We know that we live in a country and there will be challenges. But what can we do as a state government to make it easier? How do we listen to you? And I will give you one example. So our constitution created the federal government, federal taxes, state taxes, and local government taxes. So that's what the constitution gave us. So we all say we are living by that rules, right? So, but in Lagos, we realize that it will be a bit difficult and tough sometimes for businesses to navigate all this. And we keep hearing it, multiple taxes, multiple this. But let me give you one example. So, the Constitution says local government, if you have a property, local government should collect grand rent. That's what the Constitution says, that local government must take grand rent. But neighborhood improvement charges and those other charges are state. So, but what we did was, it doesn't make sense on a single property for state government to come, agencies of state government, agencies of local government. So we said, no, we are a state government, let's come together. That's why we introduced the land use charge. So it takes care of it. How we distribute it behind the scene will be our business. But for businesses, for individuals, for everybody, it's one bill, and it's called land use charge. But that really is supposed to be actually 3 taxes, some for local government, some for state. The same thing with advertisement. Constitutionally, local government collects advertisement taxes. But the challenge is for a business that operates in our state, and we have 20 local government and 37 LCDAs. It becomes difficult so you move from Agege to Oshodi, and you are confronting different businesses. So that's why we said, okay, that's why we created LASA, which now represents everybody. And then they have a board that has the state and various local governments, so that it's one interaction with businesses, and therefore, but we still have, like I said, a constitutional requirement that breaks us into 3, federal, state, and local government. So in Lagos, one of the things we are trying to do is to make it easier for businesses so that we can align things, but we can't touch federal government taxes and the rest. But for state and local government, we can combine it and make it easier for. So those are some of the things we are doing. But like you said, well, of course, we never get it right every time. So that's why we're here. They will tell us exactly what the challenges are, and we'll try and see how we can resolve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd just like to mention that we have the head of service here with us, Mr. Olabode Shuahibagoro. Thank you very much. All right, it's now time to start the session, and I do believe that we would like to start with the diplomatic corps. We have a few amongst us, and they have, of course, been part of this. And being here today, we just would like to take any comments or questions so that we can note them down and treat them. Do we have any questions from? Yes, the Consul General of Denmark is here, and she would like to, yes, please.
On? I think it works. Thank you very much. I'm representing probably one of the really, really small countries here. We can probably be Nigeria if we all gather. We are 6 million people. But I really want, just from the representing Denmark, say thank you very much for this meeting, because it means a lot for us to bring back information to our government, to our business people, because what we are actually doing now in Denmark, we're launching the new Denmark Africa strategy. And then here comes Nigeria on that map. So this is actually happening in the autumn, and that's why this is really the right moment for us to bring back the latest data. So anything that can ease business, and of course the barriers that have also been addressed this morning. We had the EU Business Forum last week in Abuja, where, of course, the Eurochamp Vice President mentioned the need for stability. It's not so much a matter of what the currency is, but the stability so you can actually budget and so forth. So that are some of the main concerns that, of course, lies on the shoulders of the Danish businesses. We also have a lot of MSMEs. So, of course, the local partnering models are really, really crucial. And for us to have easy access to local partners, it's really important in order to get the Danish companies down here to make partnerships. So that was just a very quick comment from Denmark.
Thank you very much, Ma. It is important to note that All right, please go ahead. Let's know who you are and then tell us what.
So I'm General Counsel of China in Lagos. And my Nigerian name is Ayo. Sometimes they call me also Uchi Fatima. So I'm Ayo Uchi Fatima. I'm Nigeria. I'm really, today's conference gave me so many important information. And I'm so satisfied that the cooperation and the friendship between China and Nigeria, especially with Lagos State, we have achieved so many fruitful achievements. And also I'm glad that the Director General of Lucky Free Trade Zone, Mr. Zhang Bing, is here also. And here in Lagos, Chinese company, just like CCCC, China Chamber, and Huawei, and so many other enterprises. So they built like Deep Sea Port or Lagos Meth Blue Red Line and the international airport and so on. So I think that really we have other opportunity to deepen our cooperation. And now today here we have Chinese delegation from province Shandong. You know, this also the same like Lagos State. It's a very strong economic transportation province, and they will discuss with your state that they can build friendship like sisters. And so I really think that because this year in September in Beijing we will hold the China-Africa Cooperation Forum. All of us waiting that the Nigeria president will go to China to have an official visit. And I really hope that the Lagos leader, the governor, deputy governor, and other leaders will go to China, and we will deepen our cooperation between Lagos State with other Chinese provinces. Because this is Lagos, this is Nigeria, and China, Nigeria, we have long-lasting friendship. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Your English is better than my Chinese, man. Ayo, Uche, Fatima, Ni hao. Thank you very much. It is now time to hear from the captains of industry here present. We would like to hear from you. This is an opportunity for us to listen to you. I recall that at the 7th Assembly, all issues raised were resolved. It is a continuous process. Even after this, I'd like to inform you that later on, we are going to have a QR code on the screen that you can actually grab and continue the conversation. So it doesn't end here. And you can see Mr. Governor is here, ably represented, and we intend to show you the passion that we have about making sure that there is ease of doing business in this wonderful state. So we have questions, and we will take the questions and consolidate and then get representatives to answer. I must, however, inform you that we do have an audience online as well. We'll be curating their questions, and we will make sure that we treat them. And heads of federal agencies here, please note that when they ask questions that go beyond what we can handle in Lagos State, that is the reason why you are here. You'll be able to talk about so many things that go beyond what we can handle in Lagos State. So, can I have the first, sir? Yes, please. The microphone is there, sir. Just remain, yes.
Well, my name is Dele Oye. I'm the president of Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture. Not Nigerian American, please. Well, first, my question is first of all, I must commend Lagos State and the Honorable Commissioner for this very excellent opportunity to have a feedback on how those of us have invested in Lagos and how we feel about your policies. But my question is for EXO and Standards Organization. On your website, where you talk of a SunCap, you made membership of a private organization before you can access your facilities. As Nigerians, it is against our laws for you to insist that I must join an association before I can access public service. So on what basis? Because this is completely illegal and against the Constitution. We've written to you, and you justified it that I must join a particular organization before I can get SunCap. Under what law are you operating? Is it under Nigerian law? Because your own law does not give you that kind of power. So there must be access to every public service. You don't even need to be a member of NASIMA or any organized private sector, but you should be able to walk in. So I will also be asking PEVEC to please take this note, because it's on their website, that you must join an association before you can have SunCap. And I've written to them, they justified it, and I've told them it's wrong. Then NAFDAC, I want to appeal to you. A lot of MSMEs are having challenges, still able to access your facilities, even though we are working very closely with you. Recently, I wrote to one of our members had a problem. We wrote to your Director General, and he gave us a dispensation for 6 months to access that service. Now, he has imported goods worth almost 5 billion naira, and they refuse to process it. I've already taken up with your Director General. I've appealed to her, and that member is at the verge of losing everything based on the dispensation granted by your organization. I will appeal that you don't make the member lose, because these are difficult times for our members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is NAFDAC. We had a question. We'll be taking. Okay, will the representative of NAFDAC please respond to those questions? And I also have one here from Mr. Popola, who says that he suggests NAFDAC should give the barcode with NAFDAC numbers to make it easier for consumers to identify fake and substandard products, since NAFDAC numbers are everywhere now. So we would like to call on the representative of NAFDAC to please take those questions immediately. Please, where are you, so we can get the microphone to you? NAFDAC representative in the house. Thank you. While you are waiting for the microphone, the Nigeria Customs Service has been implored to please provide excise duty number free of charge to SME so they can pay their duty charges with ease.
Your Excellencies, once again, I want to start from the last question, which is about how we can determine the quality of NAFDAC regulated products. Yes, for drugs, we have what we call mobile authentication service, which has put the power of detecting the quality of product in the hand of the consumers. You can easily test, there is a code at the back of maybe anti-malaria drug that you can test to a particular code, and it will give you an information whether that product has been duly registered or not. So that has put that in the hands of a consumer for you to be able to detect whether a drug product is fake or is a counterfeit product. Then on the question from the president of National Association of, I think, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I think we need to get correct information about what he's actually asking for. Because when you are talking about not being able to access the facility, I can't really just understand. Please, maybe you can give further clarification, sir. Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Provide the information right away. Please give him the microphone. Okay, I believe that you can actually see him since he's here, and then he will give you further information so we don't waste time. For the benefit of the Nigeria Customs Service representative, we have been told that the excise duty should be provided for SMEs free of charge, so that they can pay their duties with ease. We have also been told that the procedure for getting approval for excise duty number is the same for both SME and the big companies, and the cost is just too high for SME. So we suggest the Nigeria Customs Service should set up an SME desk to take care of SME interests like NAFDAC and FIRS have. Next question, please.
Good morning. My name is Rotimi Ashley Dejo, Tamrose Gas Limited. Water is life to us. And in the same vein, power is life to business. At the federal level, the president has initiated a decade of gas. We're transitioning to gas for power. What is Lagos State doing? I mean, any developed country that's transitioned to gas has done so with positive support of government policy. We can't do it without positive government policy. Now, Lagos State, I dare say, cannot afford to move at the speed of federal. We need to accelerate our transition to gas for power. And we also need to be independent. I think our goal should be independence from the national grid. We can't shut down every time the national grid shuts down. So my question is there any specific policy effort to accelerate our transition to gas for power in Lagos State? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any question that relates to that? Do we have anyone asking a question that relates to gas? Okay, so we'll ask Mr. Governor to take that. But before we do that, I'd like to recognize the Consul General of the Republic of South Africa, Lagos Consulate General, Professor Bobby J. Monroe. You're welcome, sir. It's good to see you. Next question, please.
Hello. I have the mic.
Can we make our questions short and concise? Because we have so many questions to answer. Thank you.
Your Excellency, my name is Danilola Raphael, representing Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, the chairman of Apapa branch. Actually, I have a document here to present to you in the course of this summit. However, there are some few questions I would like to raise. One, we appreciate all your efforts. We thank you hugely for what you are doing in the state, and we appreciate you in totality. However, we request that taxes in the state should be harmonized. We appreciate that. We also want you to look at some areas like Amuwo-Odofin industrial area, Odogunyo in Ikorodu areas. You could try as much as possible to improve on the infrastructure road of that area. Another one, sir. There are certain group of people these days. It is common along Festac area, Amuwo-Odofin, Kirikiri industrial zones. Police will come along with some forces. They will come, they will claim that they were checking documents of issues being supplied to the industries. And we assume this one is not legal. Thank God the Commissioner of Police is around. Please help us to talk to him again so that we look into that area. Another one.
Thank you. We'd just like to limit
yeah,
this.
Just one.
Sir.
Yes, another one, please. We also appeal to you, sir. Look into this delay in certificate of occupation approval. Some members complained that some of that documents have been submitted for over a year plus now. No action on them. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next question will be from this side. We have one of our sponsors. Please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you very much for this forum. I just wanted the Honorable Commissioner to reiterate, I'm asking this for the international investors that may be in the room. I know you have a deal book. If you could please quickly reiterate the transactions in that book and where they can get further information if any of the international investors were interested in looking further into those transactions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question, the Consul General. Sir.
Thank you very much, Program Director. At the outset, let me just take this opportunity to congratulate the State Government of Lagos for hosting this very progressive initiative. Special congratulations to my dear sister, the Honorable Commissioner, and thank you very much for extending this kind invitation to us. To the Deputy Governor, thank you very much, sir, for giving us an update of the good work that you are doing. Just quickly, when I arrived in Nigeria in 2017, we heard about 120 South African companies successfully operating in Nigeria. But 7 to 8 years later, we have seen a decline in the number of companies, and many of them have cited regulatory framework challenges and the red tapes that they are often faced with whenever they have to do business. So we would like to know if the state government is aware of this decline and if there are any mitigating circumstances that have justified that, or there's any action that has been taken in order to forestall the future recurrence of this declining number. And by the way, my other name is Mwaki Ibie, if you don't want to call me Chukwuemeka. Thank you very much.
Saubona, Kunjani, thank you very much. We have a question online. I do crave your indulgence. We are trying to involve those who are online as well. How can Lagos State help the SME warehouse maize, wheat, and semi-finished products for our industries from what federal government plans to import? And that is a question that we have online. Next question, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Well, I'm standing as the representative of the people. Yes, I want to commend the Honorable Commissioner of Police for doing a human job in Lagos State. But the concern of the citizens and residents is the activities of the police, especially in Abuja, where people buy lands and they use fictitious, baseless petition sent to the Inspector General of Police, and people will be whisked away from Lagos to Abuja. And they will be there for a longer period of time. After cross-examining and questioning, they release them to find their level back to Lagos. And knowing fully that Land Use Act give land administration under the governor, and we have land tribunal. So most times the people were made to sign an undertaking. The land that belongs to them, they will not go back there. And in some cases, some investors, when they get such land and they were intimidated or persecuted or threatened, they ran away. They will not come back to that land. That has greatly affected ease of doing business and business development in Lagos State.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to let you all know that he is Honorable Mustaino Abiodun Tobun, who is the Chairman, House Committee on Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment. We have some related questions, and I believe I'll just take that very quickly. And this is from our audience, and it says, we cannot move or do anything within our outlets without paying the Omonile and area boys. How can this be resolved? It makes doing business in Lagos very unattractive. I know that we'll be taking questions from the representative of the IG, and I know that these matters relating to security will be the one that he will tackle. Can we get one more question? I observed that yes, sir.
Good afternoon, distinguished people, especially His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State. My name is Uzo Ebejo of the Nigerian Brazilian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, precisely the promoter. My president in the person of Chika Okafor, OFR, has just left to attend to an important occasion. Please, we are concerned about this. The Nigerian Brazilian Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been relating with Lagos State since the time of His Excellency Babatunde Fashola, also related with the last governor before now. And we have written letters to the governor, His Excellency, about that relationship. In the past, we used to take Nigerians on trade missions to Brazil, and they've been doing their business, as it were. But for the past, I would just say, the past 8 or more years, nothing like that, except for our own individual, chambers activities. Please, we are asking the present government, now that His Excellency Deputy Governor is here, is there any way we can be interfacing with you? Because we've written several letters towards that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll take a break from the questions and allow Mr. Governor, ably represented, to respond to some of the questions that have been asked already.
Okay, well, let me start from the last one. Well, it's not a question, really. He said that they've been writing letters. Unfortunately, he didn't tell us. So, I don't know the letter you wrote. And you see, now he's not listening. So, I don't know the letter you wrote, sir. I don't know what is in there. No, wait. So, what you should do, you understand? So, it's not... So, you said you've been traveling for 8 years before, whatever. So, I'm sure it's not Lagos State government that pays your bill, right? So, it's not. So, I don't know what has stopped you. So, I think you need to highlight exactly what the issues are. The way you've expressed it here, I can't answer any question because I don't know what the problem is. So, I think maybe your letter did not say anything that require attention. So, if there are issues, state it out clearly, and then we can see. But if you have the letter, bring it, then I can take a look at it, okay?
I'll get a copy of it to you. That's the only letter we have. Everything is stated there. Thank you.
I can't do that now. No, I'll...
Okay, I think your question has been answered. I think you need to see NAFDAC. And of course, Dr. Oduwole also said that they will track it, especially with, I think it's SON, that you said that on their website there are certain constraints in terms of joining. So I think that's something that she will take up. And SON is also here, so that at least they've heard you. But like we said, I think you should get in touch with them directly, take numbers so that at least it can be resolved. Thank you very much. I think the next question is from Tamora Gas. I think that's the name of the company. He said, what is Lagos State actually doing? So I think you need to, as a company that operates in that sector, you need to probably relate with the Ministry of Energy. So if you have been following it, you will know that our electricity bill is actually doing public hearing tomorrow. It has gotten the first reading, the second reading. The public hearing will be tomorrow. And it's been in newspapers. So if you should send representatives so that you can contribute before the bill is passed. But let me just tell you what it does. So already we have electricity policy and off-grid policy documented and produced. I don't know if you have seen that. We have energy mix policy. What should we do in terms of solar? What should we do in terms of gas? What should we do? So we have all those documentations. So if you don't have it, I think the Honorable Commissioner for Energy and Mineral is here. So please stand up, let them see you. So I think that's the man you need to see. He's right here. Well, can you see him? Maybe you should raise your hand. So I think you should see him. So all those documentations are there. And if you're in that space, I will encourage you to please, read them, and then so that you can also contribute. So we are also currently negotiating with the federal government on the application of gas to power rates. So that, but since you will be part of the beneficiary, I think it's important for you to see those documents even before we take them public. So I hope that sort of answers part of your questions and your concerns. I think the next one is from Mr. Damilola Raphael of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Papa. Well, I think we've spoken about this issue before. Taxes should be harmonized. So part of the challenges that we've said is that, and I think we've said it at almost all assemblies, from the first one to the ninth one. So it seems that we are getting better, but we've not done everything. What we need, that we've said repeatedly, is give us itemization of what you consider. So because paying a driver's license is not taxes. So you understand there are differences between taxes and what. So if you apply for a building permit and you get charged, that's not taxes. So we need to start off understand the difference between taxation and actually regulatory and agency financing when you do. So it's like you want to take photographs, you have to pay a photographer. So it's not taxation. So I think we don't seem to have the same alignment in terms of this and discuss so, but we've said it repeatedly. So what man should do for us is get the list of your concern in terms of double taxation and pass it to the Honorary Commissioner who is here. Let's so that we can sit down with local government, with us as state. We've said that the federal ones, that's why FRS is here. So that if we know exactly what we are talking about, we can, because like I said, it's a recurring decimal that people keep talking about. So I think it will be useful if we can actually sit down, get a date from the commissioner, bring your team, itemize it, and then let's see what we can do to resolve it better. I think the next question you asked is our involvement with industrial estates, Odoguyon, and so on and so forth. Well, we're trying. So, but what you will notice is, so for us in Lagos, our road infrastructure is not just moving people or goods. It's also moving water. So when we start to do roads, because of course, Lagos has 9,939 roads as of today. Tomorrow it might expand because people are coming and they are creating roads. So what happens is we will not be able to do all of them at the same time. Even if we have the resources, we can't do all of them at the same time because then we shut down the state. So basically what we do is we look at the heavy traffic carrying roads. So before you get to that Odogunyon estate, you must come from Apapa. You must go to Ikorodu. So we want to make sure that those roads that lead to those estates as first line are done. And if you see that those are being attended to. So if we get to the various industrial estates later, especially I think our first one is Amuwo-Odofin. The special advisor infrastructure is there. We costed it, but it was expensive, very expensive. So we said, okay, maybe we can't do it now. But so we will take it in bits and pieces. But basically what we do is to make sure that we are able to move water in Lagos. So a selection of our road is not just a function of building a road. It's where do we discharge water when we build it. So we might pick road A instead of B, because if we do B first, it will be destroyed in 2 years because of water. Because if we don't do A, we won't be able to move water that affects road B and C. So it's a combination of various things. But we are looking at it. We are looking, but as resources get better, we will always do all this industrial thing. So as a matter of fact, like I said, Amu-Odofin, Odogun, all of them, the designs are ready. The costing has been done. We just need to find the resources to get it done. And I think the third one is for the Commissioner of Police, really. You said that police, so I'm not a policeman, but it will help us to answer that later. Then you mentioned certificate of occupancy. So not to give you excuse, we've given assurances that our CFO will be between 90 and 120 days. And we stand by that because it's been automated. So the governor signs on a computer. But the challenge is that a lot of and you need to say it, a lot of people, when they buy land, they interact with touts. So most of the time, when people submit application for CFO, the documents are never complete. And on their website, we said it, what you need. So for example, if you have a land, it says that you can only build, let's say, 60% of the land space. And so your building to the next building must leave minimum 3 meters. So if you design it and it's 2 meters, they won't approve it. But people will say, oh, I've submitted. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's important for us to actually have contacts that go back to say, oh, your design, does it meet environmental issues as prescribed by the law of Lagos State? I hope I'm getting. So if your documents are complete, within 90 days, the CFO will be issued. The challenge is getting the document. And one of the things we notice also is LRS. Are you here? LRS is not here. Oh, you are here. So because when you apply for CFO, that agency will clear you to say, oh, yeah, So because if you buy a land, because the biggest challenge for us in this part of the world is fiscal planning. The biggest challenge in this part of our world is fiscal planning. As you know, when we were in secondary school, they said that land is one of the factors of production. So the problem is we don't want to plan our land well. And as a state, we are saying, no, we must plan it well. Especially for us in Lagos. We are 0.4% of the land mass of Nigeria. And we host 11% of the population. So our land is important. Therefore, if you don't give us the right thing, you won't get the CFO. You must comply with those information. It's for all of us, because they said the population of Lagos will be 40 million. Where are we going to live if we don't manage that land? So we must manage the land. So when you submit, LRS will clear to say, oh yeah, this man is compliant, or this company is compliant. If not, fiscal planning will not. So there are so many things, because unfortunately, it's only at the point of interaction that we get opportunity to check these things. I hope my questions are clear. So I think part of the issue is man should deal with LRS also and make sure that all the everything is cleared, so that by the time you submit, everything is seamless. I think that's a response to, but Honorable Commissioner for Commerce will also assist to coordinate that. Fiscal planning, you wanted to add something? Go ahead. So the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning is here, so.
Thank you, sir. In addition to what the Deputy Governor has said, right now, in fiscal planning, we have a clear window of 10 days for you to get your approval. However, there are some requirements that it's expected to be met. And now we have, because we've seen that a lot of consultants representing building owners design on wrong information. So part of our requirements now is such that you will need to submit the planning information upon which the design is based, because we've observed that there is a lot of error in this view. Designers will come up, for example, a 6-story building in an area where you are not supposed to design more than 4. However, a lot of input will have gone into those designs, from architectural to structural to mechanical and electrical. So henceforth now, we appeal to consultants to get the design information. It's free of charge in any of the district offices. You go there, get the information that will enable you to know the regulation regarding development in that area. And however, for example, the window that we have now, which is the amnesty period for people to get their building approved, for those that have finished and living in those buildings without approval, the window we have now is such that before those applications are treated, you are supposed to give the detail of your ownership of that land. This might be cumbersome, as you heard what the Deputy Governor have said, 90 to 120 days, and we have a window of 90 days. So what we have now is such that once you've approached land and you've been given clearance by evidence that, okay, your paper is in and you've paid, with that, we start the processing for the approval. So for what we have now in physical planning, all things being equal, if your papers are cleared, it's 10 days. Your approvals will be out. Again, it's important for us to also know that our tax status is also very key. It's also very key. If somebody is making a tax of 100,000 per annum, and you want to build a design of 40 million, there is something wrong there. There is something wrong. That means probably the tax being paid is not correct, and we will not process. You have to clear that tax issue before we can proceed. So please, the amnesty period is still on for you to take advantage on and get all your buildings approval. It's very simple.
Thank you, sir.
Approach any design office, or if there is complexity on the way, you can visit the commissioner's office.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We won't let you do all your job here, so thank you very much. So basically, the 90 days starts to count the moment all the documents are in place. So I think that's what we need to make very clear. So please help us explain to your members so that at least we can get that. I think.
Mr. Deputy Governor,
Yes.
sir, since this is an interactive session, I have heard some people say that in some other states, they gave a concession looking at the number of people who have C of O's outstanding. And we all know that sometimes this C of O helps with granting facilities and all that. That is it possible for Lagos State to look into some concession where people can apply, they get a concession and they get their C of O's. Also, they say that these documents that we say people should have, they don't have a way of accessing it and knowing what the requirements are, so that they would see them and then come with those documents, and then it reduces the time waste.
So when you want to build a house and you go to an architect to help you design it, that architect has access to these ministries. So if you have, he says mechanical and electrical now. So if you're an engineer, you are current certified to design a house, you have access to these details. So the challenge is don't go to a crooked architect. Don't go to quacks. Use recognized, registered architects and engineers. The moment you do that, your life becomes easier. In fact, they will tell you this is not approvable. What you want to build is not. So he just mentioned, you must have the land information. That's why if we have physical planning for every laws, we actually turn it into laws. All of us, everywhere we go around the world, we all travel to London, we see you are going to the airport, you're left, you have over 8 hectares of land there, it's free, nobody can build there. It's because the law says you cannot build there. So that's why we have these laws. So we must, if you now say you want to build a 6-story building where it's supposed to be 2 floors, we will not approve it. So, but if you don't go to recognized or certified architects or engineers, they will not know.
There are many people here who have been living in their homes for the past 10, 15 years, but have no C of O. The process of...
but he just said it now. He said there is
amnesty
exactly.
for the next 30 days.
Oh, yeah, they do
Thank
that.
you.
They do that regularly to make sure you come in and do respective approvals.
Thank
we
you,
do
sir.
that because we know that the buildings are there, but we don't encourage it going forward, that build and then retrospectively, because in the process, you might affect your neighbor. the things you've done will affect your neighbor and the community. Okay? I think the next one is the MD of Wood All Capital. I think you just mentioned the book deal. Well, it's true, we have a book deal, so maybe we should find a way to, right here. Okay, so maybe there's a way to let people understand what is in there and everything. Thank you very much. I think the Consular General of South Africa, regulatory framework and bottlenecks, well, that's exactly why we're here, sir. I think it's unfortunate you didn't see the PEBEC presentation. So there is a federal government body, which is, what is it? Exactly. So there is a Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council that is set up, and this is the special advisor to the president on it, headed by the vice president of the country, especially on this issue. To say, and she did a presentation showing the various items of what we've been doing to make sure that we allow businesses to thrive and do better, and reduce the various bottlenecks and everything. So I think that we can share that presentation with you, so at least you can see it when you get back to the office. I think that's it.
Well, Mr. Deputy Governor is looking through his books. Thank you very much. We would like to announce that the conversation continues. We will be posting a QR code here that you can screen grab and then let us continue the conversation.
There is one here for the Commissioner of Police.
Yes, the security.
Your Excellency, sir. Regarding the question on whisking away people on land matter to Abuja, the Inspector General has been able to notice this, and he will soon form a team, a very strong team, at the command headquarters that's headed by a lawyer. They'll be looking to all these cases. There'll be no need going to Abuja again. Once this issue of land comes up, the special team will look at it and advise the parties whether to go to court or whatever they decide. At the end of the day, the case will be referred to the Attorney General of the state, because land is a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. But the owners of land criminalize it and start saying somebody has been killed on their land, somebody has caused malicious damage. So when police sees this, police have to intervene. And we intervene mainly to make peace, to make sure that there's no breach of peace on the land. But the issue of just coming in to whisk people away to Abuja has drawn the attention of the IG. And once this committee is established in the Lagos Command, this issue of going to Abuja will be a thing of the past. This issue will be addressed, and necessary advice will be given to the owners of the land. That is on that. And there's a question on police following people collecting money. I don't understand that question very well. Somebody asked that question there. Illegal collection of money. The police will follow. I don't understand that question.
Even me, I don't. So don't harass our CP. But seriously, I think we need to be very clear, because he was saying they are checking something in the company. So is it on the road, or? So please make it clear. Where exactly?
What happened is this. After goods has been delivered into factories, police with some tout, they follow them to that factory and demanding for unnecessary document, in which we are aware document of that nature always come from custom, NAFDAC. Nothing concern police, but the police are the one backing them. This one is common at Amuwo-Odofin industrial zones.
Okay,
thank you very much.
I've taken note of that, but any policeman doing that is on illegal duty. And once you notice that, please don't hesitate to report to the nearest police station. Very, very important. It's on illegal duty. No police DPO will send his officer to go and be following area boys to collect money.
So I think that, let's be transparent. The reality is that the Lagos Police Command has given out area command numbers, the CP numbers. They've given it out. It's all over the place. They've been transparent to give out these numbers. If you see it, okay, if you don't want to go to NIRA, call the area commander, call the CP. That's all. Call the area commander in that area. Not maybe if you don't want to call the police there, but look, we all want to eat omelette, but we're afraid of breaking the egg. We must break the egg now. If not, there'll be no omelette. So at least give them the chance. So the man has said, if you see it's an illegal activity, and they are also arresting a lot of illegal police officers, doing all sorts of criminal things. So let's help them. When you see it, call the nearest. If they don't have those numbers, maybe please help us give to man. They should have it. I don't know if the man they have it or not. Call the area commander in your area. Call the CP, and let's see. Now let's see what happens. We track them and see what happens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can we get some questions from? Okay, sir.
As a follow-up, sir, Honorable Commissioner. The follow-up to his answer. Sir? A rider.
Can we have questions from the back, please? Can we have questions from the back?
Hello.
Sir,
Good afternoon.
We will come back to you.
Good afternoon.
Just to add that we have the report gov.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Hold on, please. We have a response here.
All right. Just to add that we have a report mechanism, reportgov.ng, and it's not just for police, for NAFDAC, for SON, for FIRS. It's a feedback mechanism. When they're doing well, please commend them. But then it's open for complaints. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Reportgov.ng is an app. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on Apple Store. You can download it. It's web-based as well. Reportgov.ng. It's on it was on the deck, and the deck will be shared.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Jacobedon Sylvester. First of all, I want to thank the Honorable Commissioner for what she has been doing on behalf of our organization. I am the CEO of EcoFairs. My question is, recently my team and myself, we embarked on a roadmap to some West African countries. And before we could leave Nigeria, there were, a roadshow, sorry. We embarked on a roadshow to some West African countries. But before we could leave Nigeria, there were a lot of checking points, especially the police. There were a lot of police checking points, and some of these checking points don't come easily. They jump on the road and they harass people. So I want to appeal to the Commissioner of Police here to please, because we are expecting countries, we are expecting exhibitors that will be coming from those countries in West Africa, up the way to Gambia and the rest of them. So we want to appeal to the Honorable Commissioner of Police to please talk to his men so that when our exhibitors will be coming into Nigeria, they will find it the way it is done in other countries.
Thank you.
Then my second it's not a question.
Thank you,
it's
sir.
just to,
Thank you. One question. Okay.
Okay, my second is not a question, please. It's just to also appeal to the Lagos State. Because somebody like me, I don't stay in Nigeria and I have not been here for like 30 years. I want to appeal to Lagos State that something like this that they are doing, they should also invite other states to maybe commissioners from other states to join so that they can replicate the same thing that is going on in Lagos State in other states since it's one Nigeria. Thank you.
I'd just like to inform you very quickly that there is an investors roundtable taking place at this same venue on the 24th of July, and it's an opportunity for us to come in and share these ideas.
Thank you.
It's an ongoing conversation. It doesn't end here.
My name is Ehi Brahma.
Sorry, hold on 1 minute, please. Before you go on, I'd like to please request that we make our questions short. because we have many people who want to ask questions. 1, and then 2, and then we go to the back because we've been taking questions from the front. Please go ahead.
Thank
Make
you.
it swift.
Very
Thank you.
short. Ehi Brahma, Deputy President, Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce. Just to first of all say that most of us who live here in Lagos, we believe so much in Lagos that we even created an online platform, lagospost.ng. Now, the question or comment. At the Secretariat of the Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, we are keen to work with the Lagos State government on trade missions to the U.S. It's an opportunity for trade opportunities, collaborations, knowing the strategic position of Lagos State in Nigeria. So we look forward to that collaboration with the Lagos State government on trade mission opportunities to the U.S. to facilitate trade opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Dr.
Thank you very
Femi
much.
Egbeshola. I am the President, Association of Small Business Owners of Nigeria, known as HASBON. I would like to go straight to the point. First is that, like we all know, MSMEs are challenged, and we need support of Lagos State as they have always been doing. We want a situation whereby we can have cluster arrangements, strategic cluster arrangements, industrial hubs, if possible, in all local governments in Lagos State. We have so many facilities of government that are not used or underused that can be converted to clusters or industrial hubs. Secondly, also, is the fact that we need Lagos State government to help us develop an MSME development master plan that can have short, medium, and long-term goals for MSMEs, and we're able to now look at how we're able to meet up with these objectives and be able to evaluate it over time. We also want Lagos State government to do their best in supporting us to be able to export our products. Our products in Lagos State are very, very competitive, particularly now that Naira is on the downside. We are competitive in the global markets, but many of us cannot export on our own. So we need Lagos State government to support all of this. Also, again, is the fact that we want Lagos State government to continue to patronize us the more. Yes, we know that we have the Procurement Act in Lagos State, and we have an agency working on that. But we have not been engaged enough. We want a situation whereby Lagos State can patronize made in Lagos State products and services the more. Finally, I want to also say that we want Lagos State to continue to strengthen business membership organizations. We are working for you as partners in progress. We need a lot to be done between us and you, particularly when it comes to policy making and policy decision. And we believe that if this is done, we'll be able to grow this sector that are the engine of economy, the MSME sector. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that we have some questions online before we go to the next speaker, to the next question. And it says, I don't know if this is something that we can answer here, but I'm duty-bound to read. How can Lagos State help with freight charges from Nigeria to other countries, especially UK? I don't think this is a state issue. The Odogunya Industrial Estate is the biggest so far. I wish Lagos State government would rehabilitate the roads so that it can be well utilized. I would also like to say that the conversation continues. A QR code will be posted very soon. Chief Sholesi, the handwritings are not so clear. Mrs. Oluwole should help us look into the difference between the SON and NAFDAC. I think SON should face electronics and electrical items, and NAFDAC should face food. NAFDAC, please can NAFDAC look into the product delay at the laboratory? It takes too long after payment for renewal, visiting. And I think NAFDAC and SON should be given an opportunity here because we have so many questions and they haven't responded. So, one to the deputy governor, please, how can we now contact your government regarding interfacing with the NBCCI? So those are the questions that we have online and in person. So NAFDAC and SON, should they give a response? NAFDAC, SON, please. Let's know where you are so we can bring you the microphone. We've asked a number of questions. NAFDAC is there. Please respond. We will come back to you. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you once again. On the issue of delays in our lab, I told you that we are an important members of PEBEC, and we have timelines for our registration process. In our lab, your sample is not supposed to stay for more than 2 weeks. So if you have any issue with that, please feel free to contact our desk our desk officers, you will be, at least they will be able to treat it expeditiously. Or you can even contact me directly. Then on the issue of export, yes, we have an export desk also in NAFDAC that can be able to give you necessary guidelines that you need to follow to get your product out of the country seamlessly. Because what we are trying to do now is to encourage export, particularly of our agricultural produce, so that we can be able to get the much needed foreign exchange that will be able to take our country out of the wood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Simon Melchior. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a technology company called Asseco, and also the immediate past president of Eurocham Nigeria. Eurocham Nigeria is an organization of European companies in Nigeria, more than 60 members right now, over 160,000 direct jobs, more than $3 billion of foreign direct investment last year in Nigeria. I think we would, Mr. Deputy Governor, Honorable Commissioner, and DSA to the President on ease of doing business, I think we will all agree that right now we're in a difficult economic context. We have a quite high inflation, rising cost of doing business, and several different challenges. There's not one month where we're not reading about one company or the other divesting, or we've read some of those stories. And really, on behalf of Eurocham, so I'm the immediate past president. Unfortunately, our current president is also unavoidably absent, so I was asked to stand in and to represent Eurocham on his behalf. But we see ourselves as ambassadors. We see ourselves as, where we believe that we're in this together, and really my own contribution is really to offer our modest and humble assistance, if possible, to relay positive stories, positive testimonials, tutorials. We want to strengthen the public-private partnership with the Lagos State and also at the federal level. We participated last week on Friday to the roundtable on foreign direct investment, chaired by His Excellency the Vice President. So we really want to play our part in relaying positive stories, positive investor stories. This month also marks the 10th year of my company here in Nigeria, and we're not going anywhere. We want to redouble. Actually, I put more of my personal money in Nigeria this year in my company to grow the business. So we want to be part of the positive message and positive stories. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Afolabi Sholebo. I'll be speaking on behalf of consumers in Lagos State. And my first question goes to NAFDAC. There are so many times that we get some people manufacturing some substandard and fake products, and all efforts to get responses from NAFDAC to date has proved abortive. And I believe that we can look into that. Also, Standard Organization of Nigeria. There are so many substandard products, and we can say this because the number of complaints we get from the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, most of these products are fake. And to make it easy for people doing genuine business, when all these products are being sold to consumers in Lagos State, we always ensure that not only will we get a replacement for those products, we do get refund, because the position of the law is very clear about refund when it comes to substandard and expired product. Also, the police. If there's any way the police can work with the NCC as regards so many online businesses that are fake, particularly people buying products online that most of them are fake. And when we make reports, we hardly get response, because even in banking too, people making erroneous transfer. We are saying that making erroneous transfer, the money can still be traced with the help of the police and the National Communication Commission. So it's just a feedback to you, sir, so that when we have synergy with the police, with NAFDAC and SON, but we are not getting the expected responses from them. So if you can look into this, sir.
Thank you very much. We have a question here. Can I get the microphone?
Hello, please.
Oh, sorry.
Your
Yes.
Excellency.
Namaste. This is a
Namaste.
great initiative of Lagos State Government. I congratulate you all. I would just like to say one Indian experience that in last 7 years, we have improved our ranking in doing business from 142 to 63. So my saying is that it is possible by right policy initiative and deployment of public digital infrastructure in big way. Still, I see that in Nigeria, the public digital infrastructure is coming up, but something more is required on this. And we are ready to partner on this, and whenever it is required, India will be supportive of this cause. Apart from that, I would like to thank you, Lagos State Government, for keeping the Indians and Indian business, majority of them are in Lagos. So thank you for that. And one small point, that in business, these are all civil matters. So rather than to go on arresting people, there should be civil notices more in use. So sometimes it is seen that there are arrests. But I don't think that in civil matters, there could be other alternative mechanism or way or some compliance level, different regulatory compliances are required. Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. We will now get a response from the representative of the Director General of SON. Thank you.
Your Excellency, I am Tele Oduloye, speaking from... Hello? Okay. Now, laws are laws in Lagos. They are expected to be obeyed. But when we come to traffic law, a group of people will not obey these traffic laws. Even when there is traffic lights, you see the Marwa plying, as if they have the authority to violate that law. And I think you have government agents. You have the LASMA there, you have the police. They cooperate with these people to violate the laws, and yet Lagos State government will not do anything. Can we hear the government's, why government is not looking to that direction at all? Then number two, sir, when government speaks, we tend to believe. The governor promised that the 4th mainland bridge will commence February this year. This is July. Is government telling us the truth? Do we have to rely on the fact that government will still do something this year? These are my questions.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Can we stop the questions for now? We would have the response by SON. Please, if you have questions, it is now time for you to take them down. We will ensure that we collect from you like we have been doing, and we will make sure that we treat them. But we cannot go on taking the questions and questions. We need to articulate them. We need to put them together. So please write down your questions and it will be treated, but we are no longer taking questions after the Director General's representative speaks. Thank you. Microphone, please.
Your Excellency, sir, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Amzat. standing on the existing protocols. I want to say here that somebody raised an observation that NAFDAC should do this, SON should do this. I want to practically say here, thank God the NAFDAC director is here. We don't have any conflict with NAFDAC. We have our understanding, and we are doing our job well. The person who is having problem with NAFDAC, thinking we have a conflict, should check himself out, please. Then 2, talking of substandard products, I can assure this House that if anybody import anything into Nigeria, following the designated protocol of imports, there will be no substandard products in our markets. But we all know it is no longer secret that we have a lot of unmanned borders. Smuggling is going on through those areas. It's a national issue and has to be taken up by the relevant arms of government. So we have gone further to take one aspect of the conformity assessment, which is market surveillance. We go to market to trace product from market even to the importer. Sometimes before you get to know who the importer is, the product is no longer available in the warehouse. And sometimes we get to get the importer and we prosecute them. We have a lot of cases in court. Those who smuggle things, who doesn't have any document to tell you how they imported those products into Nigeria. I think we all have to work together in this case to fight this menace. We have done a lot to put a program like SunCap in place, ManCap in place, PAM in place. They are all digitalized. We can all access it, even from our phone here right now, to see that what I'm telling you is the truth, nothing but the truth. We all have to work together to fight the menace of substandard products still in our market. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As we are rounding off now, I'll just take the microphone to the floor very, very quickly, sir. Just that comment you wanted to make earlier on.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, so grateful. Well, Honorable Commissioner, we know you've been doing a very good job in Lagos. But my rider is, we want you to advise your officers, when there is problem on land matters, they should investigate the criminality aspect, not the title. Where they will be asking them, where do you get this CFO? How do you get it? At least the criminality, if there is any invasion, if there is any people that want to invade, so they should investigate that, not the title of the land. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And somebody has been whispering in my ear and he says that you tell the Commissioner of Police that you please give us a smile. Thank you. I'd like to round off by getting a few comments from our VVIP here present so that we can then call it a day. After this, we'll be inviting you to come up stage to join for the photo ops. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Compare. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate, of course, the Honorable Commissioner for a great job she's done throughout this session. I would, of course, like to also express the appreciation of the financial and professional services community for the focus that the Lagos State government has had in launching the Lagos International Financial Center Council. I think this is more of an observation than a question. As I sit here, the vastness of enterprise located in Lagos hits me. And whilst there has been a cross-section of comments from a cross-section of business enterprises, I think that, and it will task the government, but this is the cross of leading Lagos State. I think we have to have sectoral forums to enable the issues really come out. The technology community, I noticed one comment, but I mean, we know that they have issues, and we know that this is one of our, what is the word? The future of our continent, not talk of Lagos. And of course, the financial services community. I am off to the stock exchange from here. We are in the process of, and by we, I'm talking about Access Holdings, raising, I think, over 350 billion by way of a rights issue. But as I think about that process and I think about the amount of capital that is actually mobilized through exchanges and platforms in Lagos, hosted in Lagos, that in itself also is another area that is ripe for discussion. What I would love to commend to the audience and Nigeria is that it's not very often that you have the opportunity to tell and challenge a commissioner of police that something happened. And that shows you the transparency of such a session like this. Congratulations to Lagos State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ike Mokwede. It is now time for us to curate your... Okay, we will now answer the questions that have been asked, but we do crave your indulgence that if you have any other questions apart from this, please write them down and they will be treated.
Thank you very much. I think there's a question from a gentleman from that side on Fourth Mainland Bridge, and of course the something on, I'm not sure, transportation or something like that. So your question was aggressively asked that when the governor speaks, should we believe? Yes, you should believe. So, but you must also listen to what he said. So he said that Fourth Mainland Bridge will build through PPP, public-private partnership. So, and I don't know if you followed it. It was advertised internationally and locally. About, I think, 15 companies bidded. It was narrowed down to one. So the preferred bidder and, of course, the secondary bid. Now, that was not even done by Lagos State government for transparency. So our financial people, I think, was Pitmawick or something. Our lawyers were Lani Ajayi. So we got private sector to look at the sector. Okay, so the process is ongoing, but so they need to also raise finance. They need to, so it's not a project that Lagos State government is doing. It's a PPP project, and it's ongoing. So if you want to follow it, you can actually follow it. But so when he said that, he actually meant it. Okay? But it's a PPP project, and that's what it was. So also there was a question, well, the comment by the chairman of, so we are also doing sectoral. As a matter of fact, this morning at Alfred Iwane, there is something that is called Timbuktu Hub that is going on right now. So as I leave this place, hopefully I can still meet them. It's on the tech ecosystem. So that's why the Commissioner for Science and Tech is there and some other guys. So, but you know, it's just going on concurrently. And they are also doing quarterly in terms of sectoral. But this is very important so that we can bring everybody together, at least the chambers, the manufacturer association and the rest, so that we can hear their problems and then put it so that everybody can talk together at the same time. So, but sectorally, we also do that. And I think there's another question on LASMA. Okay, I think it's the same gentleman that asked the question. So there is a traffic law that says that you cannot ride a bike that is less than 200 cc. That's the operating word. 200 cc on certain roads. Third Mainland Bridge and the rest, a whole of roads. Now, but the challenge we have is that we now have a lot of companies that are supplying goods to individuals, businesses, and the rest. Why are you shaking your head? That's not, what's the question? What's the question? So give her the mic. Let her ask the question.
So we'd like to know what the question is. He asked the question. Yes, sir. We're right here.
No. You said that's not the question. What's the
question?
So
what's the question?
Yeah.
We'll just make it really quick.
No. So I heard what he said. He said that Okada is running, the police are not doing it. That's what it does. Okay, what is the question?
We'll just give it to him to answer the question, to ask the question. Yes, sir.
The Marwa people are misbehaving on our roads.
Is that not what I just said? What did I say?
Marwa, they will disobey traffic light. Yeah. They do anything on the road. And the police will just be looking. The last man will not even bother.
Okay. So I don't see any difference in what I was saying, actually, because I understand the question. So you just need to keep quiet so that you can listen to what I'm saying. Okay? So what I'm saying is that I heard your question. He has just repeated it, right? Marwa is misbehaving. Well, so that is true. That is very true. But part of the problem for us also is that really, in the real sense of it, we don't have a state police to implement our laws. Hello? So when we talk about restructuring, that's what we mean. That's what we mean. So this man is the commissioner of police. But who do you think he will listen to? Is it the IG or the governor? Who?
IG.
God bless you. So when we ask these questions, think about it. Let's process information. So who do you think? Because the IG can move him tomorrow. So think about it. But when we say, as a state government, let's have police, let's have this, let's restructure this, that's what it means. It means that when the House of Assembly passes a law, a state can implement that law. And those are the issues that we are dealing with in the country. Okay? So the bottom line is that, and let me say this, you must give them credit because I work with them a lot. Every time, the last time that they arrested those 300 Marwa on this around Okota, 2 of their people were killed. Do you know that? Sir, did you know that? Oh, you didn't read that. So that's the challenge. So it means that in order for them to now go and arrest Okada, they must stop every other thing and go with full force. You understand? So they also have challenges. So it's not that the police just look away. No. They are also dealing with various other things. I'm not a police officer, so I'm not speaking for them. But I also know some facts. So it's not that we just need to find a way to help them. So Lagos requires nothing less than 40,000 police. How many do we have? So those are the questions. So it's not to just say they look away. No, they are not looking away. They are also challenged. We need to, as a people, we need to provide also for them and make it easier for them to operate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So I noticed when you spoke, you said you cannot make an omelette without breaking eggs. The truth of the matter is that a lot of us do not, for example, have the number of the police that we're expected to have because we assume nothing will happen. Why don't you call the number and then say, I called and nothing happened? Don't assume, because we have had so many people come out to say, this happened in our area, we placed a call to the area commander or to the whoever, and they responded. We had one very recently in one of the markets where they were praising the police. We also need to do something. I asked, sir, how many of us know who our local government chairmen are? Talk less of going to them and asking questions. We cannot move forward if we, as citizens, don't play our part. We keep telling government to play their part, but what are we doing? If any of you walk into the chairman of your local government's office today, he or she will listen to you. But we don't. So when we want to do this, it is a two-way thing. We, as Lagos State, want to play our part, and we want you, as the organized private sector, to also play your part so that we can have a greater Lagos. It is now time for me to invite, to give the vote of thanks, the permanent secretary of our host ministry, the Ministry of Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment. With a resounding round of applause, please welcome Dr. Olugbemiga Ayola Aino.
Mr. Governor, sir, ably represented by the Deputy Governor. I think the protocol has been well established, and I'm quite happy that you have been quite pragmatic in handling all issues that have been raised. But I think before giving this vote of thanks, let me quickly put a smile on the Commissioner of Police. We need to start celebrating when we have some quick wins. I know it's not easy to police 24 million people. Lagos has a highly mobile population. People come into these states all the time. So you expect that issues of crime and non-compliance with the law will be a recurring issue. But at the same time, when we do have some of those quick wins, nobody's talking about the efforts of your tactical unit that were able to foil the attempt to kidnap some people along Mushin. And all those, 2/3 of those kidnappers were killed, and some of them that have gun wounds, you are pursuing them. Okay, so it's our civic responsibility to also comply with the law. I think we want to appreciate you, even though the challenges are still more. Okay, and as the permanent secretary of the ministry, we also make sure that we put together some of this vital information in terms of the regular numbers, although they've been there on the Lagos State website, such that your business organizations know who to call. On that note, I want to appreciate all the dignitaries that we have invited, and to also confess that the last 3 or 4 hours has been highly interactive. I am with a full sense of gratitude and a renewed sense of optimism that this night's assembly has achieved its objective in terms of it's shown that collaboration between the private and the organized private sector and the public service is something that will take us to the next stage. We need more collaboration, more open dialogue for the betterment of our state. Having said that, I also want to acknowledge the efforts of my indefatigable commissioner, Mrs. Folashade Ambrose Medebe, for actually, despite all odds, despite lack of funding, saying this is a must. And you can see that the hall is jam-packed. Even we had to discourage some people and say, why not attend online? Finally, too, I'm meeting Dr. Oduwole Pebek, because I know you've been on top of things and you have been putting a lot of pressure on us. And I think it's a positive one. If one thing we achieve is to make every government agency do its job, I think our society will move forward. And we are collectively trying to do that in Lagos State. We can also see the attendance by members of ESCO, also the organized, the body of permanent secretaries, because our mission is that the MDAs must more or less make simple the bureaucracy in doing business. Our sponsors too, who have given us so much support, Wood All Capital and Polaris Bank, you are highly appreciated. Lastly, we dragged all federal agencies to this place. I know it's not easy to come and shed light on this extraordinary sovereign, extraordinary meeting where sovereign issues will be addressed. I think the conversation, if the take-home is anything, the conversation must continue. And on that note, I want to appreciate everybody who has made it to this, including the online audience, that we look forward to jointly solving a lot of those issues that we'll be compiling, such that by the next assembly, we are saying this is what we have achieved. Issues will always arise. If they don't, that means your system is no longer responsive. So if you start recording no challenges, no problems, that means there's something missing. So thank you all for finding time to come, especially the MSMEs, the Chambers of Commerce. You're all deeply appreciated. I wish you Johnny Masses, and we're all knowing that Igbega Ikmileko, OTD, Ajumoshe. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Olugbemiga Ayola, I know the Permanent Secretary, MCCTI. That is what happens when you have someone so versatile, because the few things I had planned to say in my closing, you've said them all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Governor, ably represented by Mr. Deputy Governor, it's been my distinct honor to be the compere for this occasion. This is the Lagos Corporate Assembly, B.O.S. B.O.S. meets the corporate world, and we are unpacking to ensure that barriers to ease of doing business are removed and accelerating business growth. We thank all of you. I would like to thank the Woodhull Capital team for the sponsorship. Business Day also, we thank you very much. And of course, how would I forget Israel and his wonderful team? They did a fantastic job. We were here last night, and when we got here this morning, this place had transformed. We thank all captains of industry here present. We thank you for being here, and it's now time for me to bow out. My name is Akin Shemowo. I'm your compere, beyond compare. If I have done a good job, I'm sure you would appreciate me with some applause. If not, however, we will continue next time. I'd like to announce now that we have order of photography. All photographers and media people must stay behind these seats. We don't want anyone right here. So please, we'll start with those who are already on the stage, please, before we then invite others to join them. So, order of photography is going to be announced right now, starting with those who are here already. I'd like all those who made presentations today to join them as well, including our sponsor, Woodhull Capital.
Trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business with Vault. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Quick sign up, zero paper, step by step to your dream business.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started.
If we still have members of the diplomatic corps, please.
It is a great honor to be here with all the guests today at the Lagos Free Trade Zone as we celebrate the completion of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. We have the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency, Sanwo-Olu.
We are celebrating the completion of the construction of the port and the handover of the facilities.
We thank Lagos State Government under the leadership of His Excellency, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and the entire Executive Committee for the support rendered over the years.
We were gathered here today for the completion of the construction of one of the most modern deep sea ports that you can see anywhere in the world, here in our state, Lagos.
We want to have a document that will continue to guide us. And it's a living document that will always speak to the challenges at different times. With our heads high up, with our chests popped out, believing that indeed that greater Lagos that we talk about is realizable. That big vision that we all dream about is achievable. That Lagos that beckons on all of us as the future of this nation is indeed on its path. Lagos State Development Plan 2052 is built around 4 critical strategic pillars: a thriving economy, a human-centric city, modern infrastructure, and of course, effective governance. These 4 pillars will be focusing on 20 strategic areas that will drive this very deep ambition. The implementation of this development plan requires a purposeful and a dedicated leadership. This is our own unwavering promise to you all. As a government and your government that will provide that required leadership to move us from just an idea to an action.
I've been running my business on my own, trying my best to get it to the next level, but I really need some help to get ahead. I know just what to do, I'll vote it for my loans, overdraft, step by step to my dream business with Vote. Vote is the answer. Salary earners, entrepreneurs, get your loans with no collateral. Yeah. Vote is the answer. Quick sign up, zero paperwork, step by step to your dream business with Vote. By Polaris Bank.
Vault is available to individuals, SMEs, and corporate customers. Download Vault by Polaris Bank from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store to get started today.
Vault is the answer.